the New York City Marathon 4 times each. His Beantown victories were so frequent that sports writers nicknamed him Boston Billy. See where it all started. Sign up now at manchesterroadrace.com.
Need good tech advice?
Must be a computer error.
Tune into the Gold.com award-winning Computer Talk with Tab. Saturday mornings 9 to 11 on WTIC News Talk 1080. Eric Semmel and Dennis Howland of Tab Computer Systems will keep you updated with tech news you can use and answer your technology questions.
In 10.
Program, be sure to subscribe to the podcast and tune in from anywhere via the Odyssey app. Computer Talk with Tab, Saturday mornings on WTIC News Talk 1080. This is Reese on the Radio, filling in for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Are you distraught after the recent presidential election? Here at Don't Cry Cryo, we understand and we're here to help. Our expert team of cryogenic care providers can cryogenically freeze you until the Trump presidency has ended. No more crying, no more anxiety attacks, just blissful sleep until Trump is gone. When you awaken from your slumber, we'll even have a party ready and waiting for you. It will be like his presidency never even happened. It was all just a bad dream. As an added bonus, you can choose the Vance add-on package. We'll extend your sleep for an additional 4 years at a 50% discount in the event J.D. Vance wins the next presidential election. Everything will be okay. We're here to take care of you in your time of need. So remember, don't cry, cryo.
The airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Oh, you're gonna hear about it. Yeah. What's going on, all you scallywags and nutmeggers out there? You know what time it is. It's the Friday airing of grievances on News Talk 1080 WTIC. We've got plenty of news and plenty of views for you today. And of course, your grievances, plus anything else you want to talk about. Like you can talk about the subject and then have a grievance on the back end. Right here at 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-WTIC. I want to send a mournful condolences to my good friend, Chris Murphy, a mournful condolences to my good friend Chris Murphy. I understand it was breaking news today that he and his wife are separating, and that is sad news. I've been through several separations and divorce. I know what that's like. I don't want to make light of it, but if you do, go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com for today's top 5 list. You will enjoy it. Just go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com. That's REESE on the radio.com. We have a top 5 reason why Chris Murphy has separated from his wife, Kathy. You can go there and watch it yourself. We won't air it here. If you want to actually watch it, you have to go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com. It's really good and entertaining of a website as well. As I said, we are going to be taking your phone calls. For your airing of grievances. Ed Jr. said the cryogenic thing was hilarious. Thank you. Michael B. says his wife is a conservative. Being conservative. I can't even say that, Michael B. That's unseemly. I can't say that. No. She's being conservative with the personal items, so to speak. Let's put it there. If you want to join, by the way, the chat room, you can also do that by going to ReeseOnTheRadio.com. That's REESE on the radio.com. And you can chat via X or Twitter, whichever you call it, Facebook, and also Rumble by liking us and following us on Rumble. And we'll be doing that for the next 3 hours. I've got one small note. Today we're going to have I want to call him a good friend. We're not buddies yet, but he is friends with a good friend of mine. But I'm going to call him a friend anyway. Mark Fitch will be our guest today. You might remember Mark Fitch in his extensive reporting on the Eversource scandal. He is a writer for an investigative reporter for Connecticut Inside Investigators. He's got another story today that is covering a topic we called this week. We talked about this week with New Haven Mayor Justin Elicker, and that's immigration and undocumented, as they write in the article, some scandal going on with Central Connecticut State University. If you haven't heard about it, we'll be talking about that today. We tried to get alum of Central Connecticut State University, none other than Mayor Erin Stewart, on the program to talk about this because, of course, she went to the school and she's been taking some jabs at Justin Elicker. So we wanted to talk to her about that. We couldn't arrange that today, but maybe something next week will happen. We'll get into that. But without further ado, let's get into the opening monologue. And the opening monologue is a trend that I am seeing this week. We saw a little bit of this in 2016, but for some odd reason today, it has reached a fever pitch post-election. And the three individuals I want to kind of put a spotlight on is, of course, Annie Dunleavy, who we spoke about yesterday and the day before. This is
Turn yourself up.
This is the special ed teacher. The special ed teacher who pretty much ended her teaching career in the Cheshire School District by ranting online about voters and supporters of Donald Trump, threatening to put them on a stretcher and end them. And she'll, of course, be on Dennis House's weekend program to give, I guess, a full interview to understand where all of this anger came from. But I thought that was bad enough until I woke up this morning to read a woman by the name of Laura Helmuth. And this young lady is the editor-in-chief, or was the editor-in-chief of Scientific American magazine. And now she has resigned her post. Why? Because of a tirade that she did online about Trump supporters. But folks, that's not even the worst. The worst is a young lady by the name of Corey Burke. Or maybe it's a woman. I don't know. Corey Burke has now been charged with murder as a result of the election results. What did Corey Burke do? Hold on, let me get to it. I want to read this verbatim. Headline: Wife of prominent Seattle transgender author allegedly butchered her father with an ice axe on Election Day in response to Donald Trump's victory, referring to it as an act of liberation. The alleged gruesome murder occurred shortly after it became clear on election night that Donald Trump had decisively beaten Kamala Harris. Upset by the results, the 33-year-old Corey Burke, who also served as a training program manager at Jeff Bezos' spacecraft company Blue Origin, allegedly then proceeded to murder her father, Timothy Burke. The altercation began over a disagreement about lighting in the house, and Corey allegedly responded by grabbing an ice axe from upstairs. Burke had been upset about the election and knew Trump was handedly beating Vice President Kamala Harris when she allegedly snapped, apparently when her father, Timothy Burke, refused to turn off the lights. This according to the New York Post. Quote, she then went upstairs, grabbed an ice pickaxe, tripped her father, choked him, and bit him on the floor, and then struck him repeatedly with the blunt and sharp ends of the tool, police said. Corey Burke then reportedly sat down beside her father and watched him die before proceeding to smash all the windows in the house, later describing the moment to police as an act of liberation, according to the charging documents, also per the Post. Police said that when they arrived, Burke was clapping because she was so happy. Now, these three individuals are all types of extremes to what has happened to people because of this election. I'm not saying this to scare you. I'm not saying this to make you worried. These are mental health issues, obviously, with these people. But I don't know who else is out there. There are plenty of people out there who are irrational. I've received phone calls myself. I've even seen people who are members of my own extended family online. I mean, we're talking about pitching a fit. The FUs and the blah, 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 you selfish son of a B words, all nuts. Grown men with children, college-age children. They've got children who are concerned about their rights being taken, and we have grown adults in their 40s losing it on the air. Social media air, that is, talking about, this is horrible, you selfish mother bleepers. These are grown adults talking about, and I kid you not, talking about quitting their jobs because they're so upset that their neighbors or co-workers may have voted against what they believe. This is unhinged. This is unheard of. I mean, they're making this about themselves. Did we really go this far into it's all about me, that everything in the world that happens is about you? Is it going to be so bad that we believe that a traffic jam is about you? That some weather situation like a hurricane, a tornado, a snowstorm, is this all going to be about you? Because I think that we're on the precipice of that, folks. We started to get, and I believe that there's a pattern that sort of formed it's sort of bringing us to this point. Look how much we've been able to tell individuals that buying a Prius, or even something as simple as recycling your bottles and cans, is you making a change in climate. They've made you believe that your silly little gesture is actually changing the environment that you live in. And I mean that literally and figuratively. That now when things go against your belief system, that it is a personal affront to you. That people that don't agree with you or I should just say, just disagree, period. They're disagreeing with you. And in some way, disagreeing with you is an affront and an attack on you. You don't believe in abortion? I mean, now look, I don't want to pile on Justin Elliker. But remember the question he asked me about Malik Jones, what I would do if I were the police officer in that situation. And it would have been bang, bang. If he was threatening me with his vehicle. And his response to that was, you're crazy. What was Justin Elliker's response or responsibility for Malik Jones? I don't even think he's related to that boy. I don't think he's ever even met that boy. But it's crazy to have a difference of opinion with Mayor Elliker. How is that rational? How is that? I mean, I look at all these people talking about what is sane and insane. But we're talking about someone who worked for Jeff Bezos who murdered her father and thought it was an act of liberation. The weird part is that she's associating liberation with life imprisonment. That Donald Trump's election was so daunting to her existence, she would sooner kill her father and stay in jail. That was a fate worth surviving than the Trump presidency. Who are the lunatics? Oh, trust me, I know they're listening. Just going, well, I'm not like that, Reese. I'm not that crazy. I'm not. Sure you aren't. Think about all of those children who are screaming and hollering at the college campuses. Think about those children who are barricading themselves in dormitories, libraries. encampments in and around the city. Do you forget 2020 and the George Floyd? What was that place called? Chad? What was that place called? It was Chad, wasn't it? In Seattle? The burning of buildings, the burning of personal property, the killing of one another. Was it like 24 people killed in those riots in 2020? These kids that you've raised to be activists are not activists. They're lunatics. They're stark, raving, mad lunatics. This is a 30-something-year-old who killed her father. This is a young lady, Annie Dunleavy, who ruined her career, quite possibly, to care for vulnerable special education kids over an election. And when she comes out of this weird place, she's crying about where all of this has led her. It's like someone snapped her out of it, like she was under hypnosis and someone said, Beetlejuice, and she popped out and said, what have I done? I was under a trance. I was under a trance when Donald Trump when he won the election. I was put into a trance that made me threaten people's lives. What happened? You ruined your career, Annie. You've been cast out of society. You were under hypnosis when Donald Trump won. I'm sorry, Corey. Beetlejuice. Snap out of it. What have I done? I'm sorry, Corey, but your father is dead. When Donald Trump won the election, you were put under a trance that made you kill the person who gave you life. I don't know what came over me. Think about it, folks. There's a lot of you who sit idly by, say nothing, do nothing. Stand by and say, well, it's not me. I'm not like that. But let's be honest. Your side has gone nuts, has gone crazy. And please don't spare me the both sides argument. Spare me that. You guys are overwhelmingly winning the I've gone cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs award. You guys are winning that. Gold medalist, all of you. And you know it. I love this guy. I'm going to make him my bodyguard. Let's go to the phone. Joe's in Simsbury. What's going on, big guy?
Oh, boy. I'm not that tough because Tim from Hamden made me so sad yesterday when he referred to me as crazy.
Yeah, it's so ridiculous to even suggest it. Again, and it's a ridiculous tactic, meaning that you cannot have a debate about the issues that you disagree with, that you have to reduce someone to being crazy. And again, look at these examples I just gave, and Annie Dunleavy, Laura Helmuth, and Corey Burke. And he wants to call you crazy for an opinion? At least you don't put anybody in a body bag.
Well, and because I'm so fearful of him, I won't even talk about yesterday's congressional hearing on UFOs because I just don't want to feed into his rhetoric. But I have an opinion on, and this doesn't cover every one of the crazies, but I think it covers a lot of them. Mm-hmm. And hopefully this will make sense. So there's a famous story. Unfortunately, I can't recall the name of the producer, but if I mentioned it, a lot of people listening would say, oh, yeah, I've heard that name before. And it had to do with the making of the movie Silence of the Lambs.
Okay.
And what happened was that this guy was in Quantico, the FBI offices, and he was dealing with the profilers there to learn as much as he could so he could make this movie as good as it can be.
Right.
Which I respect that. And the story goes that he was very much a California liberal. There is nothing no one could ever do that would lead to me wanting to do the death penalty. You know, there's evil out there. There's no way. Everyone is someone that we can fix, or we just punish them in prison.
Yeah.
And what they did was they played for him the audio tapes. I believe they were off of cassettes of two very famous murderers out in California who I won't get into detail, but it was a cassette tape of them torturing and murdering a young woman.
Wow.
And the story is this guy sat there crying like a baby. And he then went and became probably the most aggressive person in terms of Hollywood.
Yeah.
That there are people that need to be put to death.
Yeah.
And the reason I tell this story is that a lot of these people who are crazy, they've just never been exposed to what the actual truth is of a situation in such a way where they can't just do a cursory glance over of it. Similar to this guy, he needed to hear evil.
Yeah.
And because he had this fantasy in his mind. So these people that, whether it be anti-Trump or craziness or killing people, these are people that I believe a lot of them are like that. And I've used this terminology before. When you talk to liberals about something and you start to get them on the facts, well, I don't want to talk about that. Well, maybe if we force these people to talk about it,
yeah,
and maybe there's a TV show in Los Angeles called Alarma, which is on every night at 9 o'clock on a local cable station. And what does Alarma show? It shows actual footage of violent crimes south of the border of the United States.
Whoa.
And when I say actual footage, when we read about 40 Mexicans were found with their heads cut off, we don't see the picture. Alarma shows the picture.
Wow.
And what it's doing is it is showing people that choose to watch it. A lot of people choose not to, but the people who do, who are changing their minds very, very quickly about evil.
Yeah, and you know what?
They're changing their minds because now they got a dose of it.
Yeah, I think
they live in a fantasy world.
That's exactly what they need, and that almost sounds akin to that Faces of Death video they used to show us when we were kids.
Absolutely. How many people who saw Faces of Death do you think are left wing? No bail. Let's let them out.
Exactly. I got to take a break. I got to take a break, Joe. But I appreciate you, buddy. Thank you so much. Let's go to a break because I've got to because I've clearly gone too long. But we'll take more of your phone calls when we return, and we'll talk a little bit more about these three folks when we return. It's Reese on the Radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
The days are shorter and the temperature is starting to drop. Remember, the local weather information you need is right here on WTIC News Talk 1080. Accurate local weather information with Bob Cox and the WTIC weather team. Weekday mornings and afternoons on the 8th and around the clock. The local fall weather information you need is on WTIC News Talk 1080. Listen on your radio, your smart speaker, or on the free Odyssey app.
They say no two people learn the exact same way. So how did Babbel become the award-winning language learning app with over 16 million subscriptions sold? Well, we thought of you. All of you. Take Sierra. She's an artist and absolutely a visual learner. She's doing a deep dive into our Babbel wordplay videos.
Today I'll share a quick lesson on shopping in French.
Merci beaucoup. Malcolm is very much a type A, say it to my face type of learner. So he checks with Babbel's speech recognition to make sure that accent.
Sur le point.
Keith is sweet. He's a be in the room with real people kind of learner. So he loves the live online classes with our language experts.
Okay, class. Vos está pronto.
Estamos prontos.
Wherever you are, however you learn, Babbel is the best choice to break any language barrier. Try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
And now, a WTIC news update.
56 in Hartford at 3:30. I'm Dave Mager, WTIC 1080 News. Highs in the mid-50s, low around 30 tonight. Red flag warning is in effect. Classes dismissed early today at West Haven High School after a lockdown. No one was hurt. Police say a student reported another with what appeared to be a gun. It turns out a student did bring a plastic airsoft handgun to school. He and another student wound up handling that gun indoors. Both juveniles were arrested and faced charges including possession of a weapon on school grounds. The financial future of the pharmaceutical industry is in doubt with word of a key cabinet nomination.
Drug maker stocks are selling off after President-elect Trump nominated vaccine critic Robert F. Kennedy Jr. as Secretary of the Department of Health and Human Services, which oversees the Food and Drug Administration as well as the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Kennedy earlier this month told an MSNBC interview that there are entire departments within the FDA that have to go, including nutrition. Kennedy has also gone on record against weight loss drugs. Moderna, Novavax, and Pfizer are leading the pharma sell-off.
CBS's Jason Brooks. No injuries reported as a state police cruiser was struck by a wrong-way driver just after midnight. That's in Litchfield. It was on Route 8 North. Police say after 911 calls reporting the driver, a trooper tried to signal him to stop. That's when the car tried to get around the cruiser at about 30 miles an hour, striking it. The driver, 85-year-old Gerald LaPointe of Massachusetts, was ticketed for driving the wrong way. Lebanon is asking Iran to help secure a ceasefire in the war between Israel and Hezbollah. CBS's Elizabeth Palmer reports talks might be progressing, but the bloodshed continues.
Both sides are pushing hard to inflict as much damage as they possibly can before negotiations put a stop to the fighting. To add to the speculation that negotiations are reaching a critical point, Ali Larijani, who's an envoy of Iran's supreme leader, arrived in Beirut today.
Israeli strikes killed at least 11 across Lebanon today, according to Lebanon's health ministry. On Wall Street, the Dow is down 312, S&P dropping 82 points. The Nasdaq is off 434 points, or a little more than 2%. Traffic note from Glastonbury, Route 83 at Mountain Road is closed. That's due to a pedestrian vehicle crash. It's Glastonbury, Route 83 closed at Mountain Road. Let's check the forecast.
For the rest of our Friday afternoon, it'll be sunny to partly cloudy and breezy, the high of 61. Mainly clear, increasingly windy tonight. Quite cold, the low down to 35 with that northwest wind cranking up to 10 to 20. Then on our Saturday, mostly sunny, windy, the high of 61. Will feel like the 50s at best during the day with that northwest wind up to 15 to 25 miles an hour. Sunny to partly cloudy, still breezy, and quite cool Sunday, the high 63, feeling again like the 50s with the north-northwest wind, still at 10 to 20. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
55 degrees now. Sports, women's college basketball.
Happy Friday, everybody in the chat room. Thanks for joining us. And Jason, we're talking about in anticipation for the 2008 presidential run? He needs to replace her with a Chinese spy. Who are we talking about?
Tune in to Johnson Brunetti's Money Wisdom with Eric Hogarth tomorrow morning at 8:30 right here on WTIC News Talk 1080.
There's a price war in the insurance business, and you may be paying too much. Call the Term Lifeline right now and see if you can save 40%. $500,000 plans and up, that's our specialty. Even great smokers' rates. Protect your family today. Call the Term Lifeline right now for a free quote. 866-549-TERM, 866-549-TERM, 866-549-TERM.
This Thanksgiving at Total Wine & More, find bourbons and Cabernets that you adore. Our helpful guides are so friendly and nice, so many bottles to try at the lowest price. So gather with friends as you sit down to eat. Grateful for all who made Thanksgiving complete.
With curbside pickup and delivery available and the lowest prices for over 30 years, you'll always find what you love and love what you find. Only at Total Wine & More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-511-3535. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-511-3535. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-511-3535. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-511-3535, 800-511-3535, or biglou.com.
Men, it's the holidays, the season of all kinds of hustle and bustle. But if your energy is down, if you aren't sleeping well, if your sex drive is MIA, and you just don't feel like the guy you once were, maybe it's tough to get excited for all the holiday cheer. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health, and if this sounds like you may have low testosterone. And if so, this is the season for you to get treated. At Northeast Men's Health, we're experts in treating low T. If you're like most guys, you'll feel the change in just a few weeks, and truly, the results can be life-changing. You'll have improved mental clarity. Your energy will kick up. Your workouts will be better, your sleep patterns will improve, and your sex drive will likely heat up as well. So call us and don't go through another season with low T. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956 or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 5 offices across the Northeast to serve you. Northeast Men's Health, a Promedic restorative health practice.
Are you working out, eating healthy, and doing all the right things and still struggling to lose weight? Don't get frustrated. Get answers. You could be having difficulty because of your metabolism. Lumen is the world's first handheld metabolic coach, revealing how your diet and lifestyle fit into the bigger picture of how your body burns carbs and fat, allowing you to develop a game plan and see results. Go to lumen.me right now for 30% off. With just one breath, Lumen offers insight into what's happening with your body and promotes optimal metabolic health for easier weight management, improved energy levels, and better fitness results. Go to lumen.me today and get 30% off. Plus, listeners can get an additional 15% off by using promo code RADIO90. That's promo code RADIO90 at lumen.me to get an additional 15% off your first purchase today. LUMEN.ME, promo code RADIO90.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
1 minute.
Here, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-329-2121, 800-329-2121, 800-329-2121.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is.
You know who it is.
You know who it is. It's Reese on the Radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
Oh, dirty. On Reese on the Radio. Let's get right to it. Telephone lines are ready to go. Aaron's in Goshen. How you doing, big guy?
Hold on 1 minute.
Okay. Should I put you back on hold and come back to you?
Yes, sir.
All right, let me put you on hold. Tim is in Hamden. What's going on, buddy?
I have so many airing of grievances to start off.
You
with,
get
okay?
one. You get one. So come up with your biggest one.
All right, I'll give it to you. You know, you talk about talking out of both sides of your mouth.
Talk to me.
You don't want to make fun of somebody like Chris Murphy and a possible divorce, and you say all that serious. But if you want to go to the jokes on my website about it, yeah, that is the dollar store hot dogs. Okay, that is cheap.
Wait. So I can assume Tim and Hamden, you went to the website and you read the top 5 list, and now you're upset. Are you upset?
No, I listened. Unlike most of your callers, I actually listened to what was coming out of your mouth.
Okay,
You know,
so
my
did you
grievance-
read? Hold on. Did you read the top 5 list?
Hell no.
So go read it.
Hell no.
Why don't you go
No,
read the top
thank
5
you.
list so you can
want to.
so you can criticize it?
Your dirty jokes.
It's not a dirty joke. There are no dirty jokes there. I don't do dirty. I don't do dirty.
You know, you obviously have. You're just a hypocrite when you. I don't want to make fun of anybody. I've been through divorces, and then you do it. So my grievance is real quickly. My second grievance, and I will be very quick on this phone call and everything like that. The teacher in Cheshire was not charged with any crime.
Who said she was?
The police. I'm setting up the facts for your big.
No, I don't really care about her. You're setting up the facts for something no one even suggested.
This whole thing is about how.
What do you mean,
evil,
this whole
terrible,
thing?
And all stuff is. This whole thing and stuff. She said.
No. Don't. Okay, Tim, I got to stop you. This is where I got to stop you. Don't invent things on this show. If you got some problem with something that someone said on Tom's show, deal with it on Tom's show. Don't bring Tom's.
I'm not talking about
Then talk about what listen, Tim. I never mentioned she was under any police investigation. I was the one who said that she resigned. So if you know that, keep it pushing. What else do you got? So leave Annie Dunleavy alone because I already have.
No, you haven't. You're lumping her in with somebody who murdered somebody.
No, I'm lumping her in with somebody who would destroy her life over an election. And I gave 3 examples. Annie Dunleavy, who again is a substitute teacher for special ed children. And because of an election, she ruined, wait. She already, listen to me, she's already affected her very young career because she's a young woman. Why? Because of her actions against an election that had nothing to do with her. It had to do with the American people. Tim, again.
You haven't heard her explanation.
Guess what? I did hear her explanation, but I will hear the total interview when she talks to Dennis House on Sunday or Saturday.
She didn't ruin her her total situation.
How do you know?
She should be retained. She should be able. That's why I called Joe from Simsbury crazy. You guys don't get to decide.
I never decided for her, and if you heard me, I said
you
that. You
don't need to go on.
Tim, if you were listening, Tim, I'm not. You know what? This is the reason why. This is what makes me want to move on from you, because here's what you didn't do, and I'll say it again. You're not articulating what I said clearly. I said that if she shows some contrition, she should be able to get back into teaching. I said that, and I said it. Everybody knows it because it's on tape, and I have it on my Facebook page. Don't interrupt me again. I'm going to say it again. I never said that she was charged with any crime. I never even involved the police. Dennis House brought up the police. I did not.
That.
Again, no, you're bringing up the police as if it was suggested here, and I'll say it again. I never mentioned anything about her. Yes, you did. She was never arrested or charged with anything, is what you said. And nobody's even talking about her being charged. What she did affected her career because she had to resign, and that's the long and short of it. When I brought up Laura Helmuth, she was another woman who went online on her own personal page and attacked Trump supporters to the point where she had to resign her post at the Scientific American. And Corey Burke, who works for Jeff Bezos and Blue Horizon, she killed her father. Now, again, what were the reasons for both of these individuals? Because it had to deal with an election and something that all 3 of them could not handle mentally. They are 3 different examples of that, but 2 people ended their careers over it, and another person ended a person's life. And what I'm suggesting to you is, and what you failed to even recognize, and I wish you had the guts to come up here and just say, you know what, Reese? It's incredible the way in which people will behave over an election that only affects the people in which it affects, but these people take it personally and you can't stand for it. But you know what you're doing? You're sitting up here and you're holding some sort of ground for people you know are mentally ill. You know that they have some sort of mental faculty in there. No, you know it's there. And then you come in here and you make yourself look as just as depraved as these individuals because you're trying to find excuses for this stupid and ridiculous behavior. They are dumb. Those people are putting their lives in jeopardy over something as simple as what people chose to do with their own vote. A constitutional right. No, actually you don't. Because you want to know why? Because you're disingenuous, and I'll even go so far. You come on these airwaves and you lie. And you lie on me and you lie on others. I'm not banning you. Let me say this to you. I would never ban you. Listen, I would never ban you. But I'm giving you one opportunity in the future, and it's the last opportunity I'm ever going to give you. Do never, ever put words in anybody's mouth on this show. If you have a debate or an issue with something I said, like you did with my Chris Murphy thing, come on the air and say something about that. Did you think that I'm being a hypocrite, whatever the case is? But don't bring up topics that we never brought up, and don't bring other grievances from other shows or other things in your life and then try to apply them to us or people. We don't talk. When I talk about Tim, I talk about Tim. I don't say you and your ilk and people like you. I talk about you. But this thing about calling people crazy because you disagree with them, it's dismissive and disrespectful. Okay? Now, people have said things, and I will admit, they say things about you, but you know what? I'm going to go so far as to say this. Just come on the show and just deal with the things that matter to you. That's all. After that, move on. Matt's in Bristol. How you doing, Matt?
Hello, Mr. Hopkins.
What's going on?
Why do I always come on after Tim?
I don't know. It's like a timing thing.
I told Joe yesterday. I defended Joe on the crazy thing. I don't know. He's like, it's all right, you know.
But he's.
So
I don't
all
understand
about-
what his deal is. Yes. What did you want to say about the three individuals, Annie, Laura, and Corey?
I wish Tim was after me because, I heard about Chris Murphy, him getting divorced.
Yeah, separated.
And
He put it.
I was really upset until I found out that he made a special friendship with Tim Walz. So I think he's going to be okay.
I don't know. I don't know if he's going to be okay in that regard. Did you happen to check out the top 5 list?
No.
Please go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com and read the top 5 list. It's very funny. It's really funny. Was that?
No, I'm sure. I just wanted Tim to call after me and light me up.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
You know.
He'll be fine. He'll be fine. I just wish he didn't. He didn't come up here with the bull crap about you people are bringing up the. I'm not comparing anyone. The only thing that the three of these individuals have in common is the fact that they lost their ish over an election, and two people.
You gotta
God, I'm sorry.
You have to remember when you're coming from it. When you're coming from a situation from a different angle like he is, he's going to read stuff into it that is not necessarily there.
Yeah, I know that.
So have a little patience with that because he's reading something into it that you didn't really say or you might not believe.
Mm-hmm.
But because of his belief system, he's reading that he's reading something into your statements that aren't actually there.
Exactly. And not only that, he presents them as fact. Because again, having an argument with me or even starting a discussion about there were no criminal charges, no one ever suggested there were. No one did. No one ever even brought it up. So it's ridiculous.
Yeah. But again, in his mind, when he hears people saying, because that's the way the liberals are, if they disagree with you, if something like that, they would go after someone with lawfare over something they disagreed with philosophically.
But you know what? Here's the crazy part.
Like
You
that.
ask a liberal to call in and say, hey, listen, if you're on the left-hand side, you should have the guts to come in here and say, you know what? I don't like Donald Trump, and I believe that his voters are this, that, and the third. But you know what? I wouldn't ruin my life, much less take a person's life over an election like these people were. And this is beyond the pale. And he just couldn't say that. He comes in here and he tries to defend this behavior. The young lady ruined her career. She could have very well ruined her career. She might get a reprieve, but remember, what she did was absolutely unhinged, and he should have thought about it in that way, and he refuses to. Instead, he defends it, and that's the reason why they lose.
It wasn't. If she just came out and said, hey, it was a drunken rant, I'm an idiot, and I'm sorry. I didn't even know it was being filmed. It was just a drunken rant. I don't really believe that.
Yeah,
I would have given her a pass. I'd say, whatever. We've all been an idiot before, so.
Indeed.
But she made excuses for it instead of just owning it.
Yeah, indeed. Thank you, Matt. I appreciate you, sir. He's now in the chat room saying that homophobia on Murphy, that said, it's no longer called homophobia. It's okay to be gay. Unless you have a problem with anyone deciding to be homosexual, Tim. It's okay to be gay. It's not frowned upon anymore. Coming out as gay is actually an enhancement to your resume. So it's not homophobia to suggest someone is gay unless you're a homophobe. Do you understand how that works? It's like when all these people found out that Barack Obama was fantasizing about men. You're calling him gay. I thought that was okay to do. The gay community has been fighting for normalcy in their community forever. Why isn't it normal? Why can't it be normal for Barack Obama? Can't be normal for Chris Murphy now? Now it's homophobia? Because you don't want him to be homosexual? Because apparently that's a blight now? Figure out what side of the angle you're on this one. Figure out where you are. I don't think you know. Fred's in Middletown. How we doing, Fred?
Hey, good. I thought the juxtaposing of those three bad reaction to the elections was good. The one who just made the video fearlessly.
Yeah.
And then the other one who, went pretty far. And then one who actually killed, that was some good work. I bet one thing they all shared in common was a relationship with pharmaceuticals.
Well, you know what? Here's the link. It's not so much that what they had was against Trump voters and Trump himself. What you're looking at is levels of this insanity, and I'm using that term loosely. I'm not a psychiatrist, but there are levels to this thing. So if Annie Dunleavy had not been stopped and caught, you know what I mean, and had to face her, how far would she have gone? Like, if the video had never come out, would someone have been assaulted had she not been forced to look at her own actions? Right?
Right when that came, someone was saying how this chick isn't going to be happy till she punches someone.
Exactly.
And this is something she knows. And then I forget if it was you or Tom, who took the call from a guy who experienced that from her in 2016 in person.
Oh, did he? That must have been Tom.
This is who she is.
Yeah.
She can't apologize. This is who she is.
Yeah.
She's like, couple quick things.
Yes.
About what's his name, Ehrlicher. Both he and what's his name, Duff. I'd call them like alpha prisses, they don't handle any challenge well. But so two things that I feel would be like a dung dipped stick in the eye for him if you ever talk to him again. Do you know anything about the Columbus statue in New Haven that came down?
Yes.
It wasn't supposed to. Right. So he was all over being nowhere on that.
Yeah.
He lied and just, that's probably a thing you get him on. Just like in Middletown, everyone got activated over this garbage district thing.
Yeah.
And this killing the squirrel and the raccoon has people more upset than Waco. Well, if you're ever talking to Justin Ehrlicher again, bring up the
Columbus statue?
And what was the other thing? Oh, and Wanda.
Oh yeah. I'm waiting on that one because there's some developments in that I'm actually working on.
Right.
Fred, let me go to a break. I just realized what time I'm on. I'm literally late. Thank you, boss man. I appreciate you. Let's take a break. We'll come back. More news, more views when we return. It's Reese on the Radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why, when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Granger.
Diddy Tapes is perfect.
The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Granger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Hi, I'm Joe with SimpleSaleUSA.com, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 203-896-4000. I can pay cash.
Let me answer that for you, Tim. She did not just say that if you attack her community. She says, we know who you voted for. And that is a direct threat. Maybe you should watch the video again because I've listened to it and watched it several times. So I know exactly what she said and what she meant. Okay? Plus, she invited them to come to her door. Okay? Come to her door. That is a challenge. You obviously missed that part. Or you're selectively editing it in your own head. Perhaps you should work on that.
896-4000. 203-896-4000.
Ooh, ma. What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud Phone System. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very...
Calm? I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business calm at ooma.com/radio.
If fashion is your thing, eBay is it. eBay's where I find all my favorites, from handbags to iconic streetwear, all authenticated. For real. This time, a little Supreme, some Gucci. I even have that vintage Prada on my watch list. That's why eBay's my go-to for all my go-tos. Yeah, eBay, the place for new, pre-loved, vintage, and rare fashion. eBay, things people love.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider.
Minute.
Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMSS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands.
You're only going to have 30 seconds.
Their ED through HIMSS.
I know.
Start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices. Go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
The airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. You're going to hear about it.
The airing of grievances here on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC. When we come back after the break, we're going to have Mark Fitch from the Connecticut Inside Investigators.org to talk about the Central Connecticut State University scandal with undocumented students. If you haven't read it, go to ConnecticutInsideInvestigators.org or InsideInvestigators.org to read the article. We'll be talking to Mark Fitch about that today. And it is quite the scandal, Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Good afternoon to you, and good afternoon, everyone. And if you are heading on the northbound side of I-91, look for some slow traffic now as you move up into Windsor into Windsor Locks. We've got some road work going on in the Dexter-Coffin Bridge. The left and left center lanes are blocked there, so got delays back to 3941 behind that. Southbound 91 delays 35 down to 32 A and B. Another bump down by to 28. Sluggish stop and go again, approaching 20 in Middletown down to 17 for the Wilbur Cross Parkway. Northbound 91 slows approaching the Middletown Rest area up to exit 20 Country Club Road. If you are traveling westbound 84, you've got delays approaching 56 Governor Street out to exit 44 Prospect Oakwood. 84 eastbound locked up 44 down to the Bulkley Bridge. If you're traveling 291 384, that looks good. 2 westbound slowing exit 4 to the 84 West merge. 9 northbound Middletown tied up approaching the
Michael
area up toward the Aragoni Bridge. 84 eastbound in Waterbury slowing 17 to 18. Westbound 84 is tied up 26 to 22 in Waterbury. 84 eastbound slowing from the New York.
Hey, who are the Jets losing to this weekend?
84 eastbound slowing again 10 to 11 in Newtown. Southbound Parkway delays from 63 down into the West Rock Tunnel. 91 southbound, look for delays from exit 8 down to between exit 4 and 3. We've got an accident in the left and left center lanes blocking those 2 lanes there. This involves a tractor trailer delays back to exit 8 behind that. And a crash southbound on the Parkway between 56 and 55 in Orange. That is blocking the right lane. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC. For the rest of our Friday afternoon, sunny to partly cloudy, breezy, that high of 61. Then tonight, mainly clear, still breezy, quite cold, the low down to 35. Now, mostly sunny, windy on Saturday. The high of 61 will feel like it's in the 50s at best with the northwest winds 15 to 25 miles an hour. Still quite breezy Sunday, sunny to partly cloudy, that high of 63.
Oh, no,
again,
they don't.
Feeling more like the 50s with that busy north-northwest wind. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
WTIC is 99 and throwing a year-long celebration to 100 years on the air. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
54 degrees, 4 o'clock. I'm Dave Mager, WTIC 1080 News. Red flag warning in effect through 6 p.m. Classes dismissed early today at West Haven High School after a lockdown. No one was hurt. Police say a student reported another with what appeared to be a gun. It turns out a student did bring a plastic airsoft handgun to school. He and another student wound up handling that gun inside the school. Both juveniles were arrested and face charges including possession of a weapon on school grounds. And Cheney Tech in Manchester also dismissed early after a powdery substance believed to be fentanyl was found on the floor of a bathroom. This happened about 10:30 this morning, according to state police. They say there are no reports of exposure or injury. The medical community and the political community debating Donald Trump's choice of vaccine critic Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to lead the Department of Health and Human Services. CBS News Chief Washington correspondent Major Garrett says Kennedy could impose his beliefs, wielding wide influence over public health.
RFK Jr. has within the Trump world a constituency of his own. He's the only one Trump is allowed to rebrand MAGA, Make America Healthy Again, MAHA, which rose out of a part of the Trump constituency that is still deeply aggravated and resentful about all COVID restrictions and requirements.
House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries is asking this question about several Trump cabinet choices.
Are these the best individuals available to the incoming Trump administration? Is Robert F. Kennedy Jr., by way of example, the best that America has to offer?
Judiciary Democrats are asking the House Ethics Committee to preserve its report on Attorney General nominee Matt Gaetz. It's unclear if that report will go public now that Gaetz has resigned his House seat. The Hartford Courant reports Senator Chris Murphy and his wife, Catherine Holohan, are separating. They were married in 2007 and have 2 sons together. The Courant obtained an email to friends announcing the separation. The email says they're committed to co-parenting. Severe flooding followed by months of drought have family farms hurting all over the state. That's why Senator Richard Blumenthal is calling for Congress to pass what he calls robust emergency relief soon.
Yes, he does, Craig. Yes, he does.
Relief right away before the end of the year. We know our farmers are hurting. Natural disasters, adverse markets, the recent flooding in August.
Blumenthal appeared at the Killam and Bassett farm stand in South Glastonbury. He's also promoting the Save Our Small Farms Act, co-sponsored by Congresswoman Johanna Hayes. It would improve access to disaster assistance programs and crop insurance. There's a lawsuit over what's inside Kraft's popular mac and cheese.
The label of Kraft mac and cheese says it contains no artificial flavors, preservatives, or dyes. But a class action lawsuit's been filed alleging that's not true and says Kraft Heinz is defrauding its consumers. The plaintiffs say the product has a synthetic form of citric acid in it that's different from the natural variety. They also say it contains sodium phosphates. Stacey Lynn, CBS News.
And the latest from Wall Street.
Retail sales rose a stronger than expected 0.4% in October from the prior month, while the September gain was revised higher. Autos, building materials, electronics and appliances, and restaurants and bars were big winners last month, with motor vehicle and parts sales jumping 1.6% from the prior month. Retail categories that pulled back in October included home furnishings, clothing, sporting goods, and department stores.
CBS's Jason Brooks reporting. On Wall Street this afternoon, the Dow down 306, S&P dropped 79, NASDAQ off 427 points or more than 2%. Sports, women's college basketball, number 2 UConn plays number 14 North Carolina. Hockey, the Wolfpack hosting Charlotte. For more, check out WTIC.com. I'm Dave Mager, WTIC 1080 News.
I'm at Big Y, and my tell me
Thank you.
tomorrow's the holiday cookie swap. Then I see the baker putting out these fresh cookies, and she says, 2 dozen of these. Wrap them individually. Done. Nice.
Here's to happy holidays and tasty traditions. Big Y, nicely done.
Experience the power of the Hartford Symphony Orchestra with Brahms First under the brilliant leadership of music director Carolyn Kwan. November 15th through the 17th at the Bushnell. World-renowned cellist Inbal Segev will captivate you with Elgar's poignant concerto for cello in E minor. Then feel the triumph as the orchestra brings Brahms Symphony No. 1 to life, a symphonic tour de force that pays homage to Beethoven while declaring Brahms' unique voice. Tickets start as low as $10 for students. Call 860-987-5900 or visit hartfordsymphony.org.
Hey basketball fans, it's Liam McNeely, your new freshman recruit. On the court, I know the importance of teamwork. It's not just about one player. It's about the whole team working together to achieve victory. That's why I trust the law firm of Brown, Pandeiros, and Scott. With them, you're not just getting one lawyer, you're getting a law firm with a team of experienced professionals dedicated to your success. They collaborate, strategize, and fight for you every step of the way. Choose the firm that knows the value of teamwork. Visit BPS Law.
Here we go.
They're here to win for you.
You're listening to Reese on the Radio, filling in today for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
The airing of grievances. Grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're going to hear about it.
It's Reese on the Radio, 4 o'clock hour in the house right about now. Don't forget, we got the stupidest thing that I've read today, which just posted. Eva Longoria is leaving the country. Well, really, she's leaving California. But we got one. We got one celebrity, folks. One celebrity bounced. Just one. Is that it? With everything with Donald Trump, we can only get one person to bounce? Jesus Christ, we're not doing our job. We have to work harder. We just got to work harder. These people say they're going to go. Like, we should all get, like, our Ubers, like, up. Everybody get, like, an Uber app and drive these folks to the airport. But Eva Longoria, I didn't know she was even in the United States, to be honest with you. But apparently she's leaving. And she's upset. She has to leave because of the homelessness and the crime in California. It's got nothing to do with Donald Trump. But she's going. Whatever. Yeah, just go to reeseontheradio.com. That's REESE on the radio.com. Also, check out the top 5 list on the website, if you will. A couple of people have checked it out already. It's supposed to turn heads, folks. That's what the top 5 list is for. It's just jokes. It's just jokes. But it's actually pretty good, if I do say so myself. We've got plenty of news and plenty of views, of course. We've got your airing of grievances coming up, and we normally don't do a guest on Friday, but I thought this story was important after our conversation with New Haven Mayor Justin Elliker. The Central Connecticut State University is embroiled in a scandal of finding creative ideas to pay undocumented students, illegals, to pay them cash for internships. And the person who broke that story is our friend Mark Fitch of Inside Investigator. That's insideinvestigator.org, so you can check out the story. And he will join us here just after the break to talk about what he found out, what's being done, and I don't know, what can be done differently. And maybe if this is going on in other colleges in and around the state. Who knows? Let's get to another check of our traffic with Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon, everyone. Well, this traffic report is being brought to you by Stu Leonard's. And if you are traveling on the southbound side of I-91, look for delays 34 down to 32A and B, and again down by exit 28. More delays 20 down to 17 for the Wilbur Cross Parkway in Meriden. And looks like we've got delays in New Haven from exit 8 down to exit 3 from an earlier accident that's now gone. If you are traveling on the northbound side of 91, that looks good. Cromwell through downtown until you get up into Windsor. You've got some slow traffic in Windsor, 3941 up to the Dexter Coffin Bridge.
No,
got
Michael
road
B.
work on the Dexter Coffin in the left and left center lane, so stay to the right there. If you're on the westbound side of 84, you've got delays approaching 56 Governor Street out to 45 Flatbush Avenue, 84 eastbound, locked up 44 Prospect Oakwood into the tunnel, 291 eastbound slowing over the Bissell Bridge, 2 westbounds tied up exit 4 to the 84 West merge in East Hartford. 9 northbound Middletown, you got slow traffic Harbor Park to the Aragoni Bridge, 84 eastbound Waterbury delays 17 to 18, westbound 84 slows 26 in Cheshire, up to 25 in Waterbury, and it gets some slow traffic by 22 in Waterbury. 84 eastbound slowing New York Connecticut line out to 5. Again, delays from 9 in Newtown to 11 in Newtown. Southbound Parkway delays approaching 63 to the West Rock Tunnel. And 95 South New Haven slowing from 46 down to exit 44. This week's great deals at Stu Leonard's Farm Fresh Foods. Bone-in beef short ribs are only $7.99 per pound. On the Stu's app, you save $3 per pound. Plus, organic extra large red seedless grapes are $2.99 per pound. That's $1 savings. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
To you by True Law, thickvets.com. WTIC weather.
Mainly clear, breezy, and cold tonight. The low down to 35 for us. The northwest winds already up to 10 to 20 miles an hour. It is going to be a windy weekend because of that, the low humidity and the copious amounts of dry brush. There will be a very high fire threat as well. On Saturday, mostly sunny, windy, mild, the high 61, but feeling like it's in the 50s throughout the day with that northwest wind at 15 to 25 miles an hour. Sunny to partly cloudy, still breezy Sunday, a little milder, but again, feeling like it's in the 50s. The high of 63 with that northwest wind at 10 to 20. Monday, mild, more clouds than sun. Breezy again in the afternoon, but not as windy. Can't rule out a shower. The high of 63 Monday. Breezy again Tuesday, mostly sunny. Cooler, the high 59. Mostly sunny Wednesday, the high of 58. Right now it's 55 in Danbury and Bridgeport. Meriden at 57, 54 Bristol, and 57 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Looking for the best ways to prepare for retirement? Then be sure to tune in to Johnson Brunetti's Money Wisdom with Eric Hogarth tomorrow morning at 8:30 right here on WTIC News Talk 1080.
When you're trying to find quality candidates, all the searching, screening, and interviewing can become a job itself. You need Indeed, the all-in-one platform that makes it easy to interview, screen, and hire quality people. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
I'm elder law attorney Haley Allaire. Our greatest reward is happy clients telling us that they're very thankful for our help.
Hi, I'm Mark, and my family's from Bristol. Allaire Elder Law met my number one goal when I decided to work.
Street cred notwithstanding, Michael B.
No, I'm not legally so they can enjoy the rest of their time together and not worry about becoming one of the Title 19 horror stories. And our family cannot thank them enough.
Find out more at AllaireElderLaw.com. That's ALLAIRE.
Feel like everything's clouded?
1 minute.
Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com. Our psychics are available to talk 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
I love this song. I love nachos.
Loving everything? You might be buzzed.
You know what I'd love? A ride when it's time to head out.
If you see a buzz warning sign, call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
What do you call the NordVPN Black Friday deal, huh? The Block Friday deal. Because you block online threats. Black Friday, Block Friday. Get it? It's hilarious. Get the NordVPN Black Friday deal and block online threats now. NordVPN will encrypt your online traffic. It's threat protection pro tool. Web trackers, malicious websites, and malware-ridden downloads. Get the special Black Friday.
This be crazy too.
And enjoy safe internet daily. NordVPN, cybersecurity built for every day.
The airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. You're gonna hear about it.
And we're back on this airing of grievance Friday with a guest.
You hear that snare?
I hear it. A pleasure to have our next guest on the air on a Friday. Like I said, I don't normally do interviews on Friday, but I saw his article and I was like, dude, how do you not holler at me? Mark Fitch with ConnecticutInsideInvestigators.org. How you doing, big guy? Yeah, how are you going to do this article and you don't contact me and say, hey, I got a new article out?
Well, you got to sign up for our emails. You got to sign up for Inside
No. Don't hand that to me. Don't give me that, Mark. You've got my personal info. You give me a heads up and you say, hey, you want to check out this article? You might like it. Hey, hook me up.
All right, fair enough. I'll try to keep you. I'll try to keep you on speed dial next time.
Yeah, that's all. No, I'm just saying. I saw it, and like I don't know if I'm pretty sure you heard my interview with Justin Elliker early in the week, right?
I did hear part of that. Yeah.
Yeah. So we talked about immigration. Of course, this is. I mean, to be honest with you, this is a hell of a scandal happening at Central Connecticut State University, with these internal emails saying that the school is trying to find or, I guess, circumvent the law and giving grant money to illegals. Give everybody pretty much a synopsis of what you found here, if you could sort of frame it for us.
Well, basically, and this, according to the school, they are not trying to circumvent anything. I just want to put that out there first.
Sure.
But basically, there's a committee within the school, and apparently within other, state schools that, focuses on undocumented students and how to help them through the higher education process. And an email was sent out to a number of different people in the school saying, we are looking for creative ideas to get these undocumented students paid internships in a way that doesn't mention employment or need a social security number. And they're looking for, quote unquote, creative ideas to do that. Basically, it seems like some other schools have been able to find ways to set up stipends and grants and things like that so that these students can, do paid internships or earn some money somehow. CCSU was trying to figure out a way to do that. And, they emailed one person in particular at the grants department, and they were saying, no, that would absolutely be illegal for us to do anything with the grant money that we get.
Right.
Because, these are very competitive grants. They're for research, and you have to be a citizen. And I don't know how everything blew up, but this email started making its way outside of the school. I mean, it came to me two different ways. I can tell you that. So clearly somebody was, saying, hey, this something's going on here. But yeah, and it's what I guess what I kind of took from all this is like, I haven't really thought about, undocumented students being in the college system. And according to CCSU, they have no idea how many they have.
That's the one. That's the one. That's the part on this whole article, that one paragraph. That was the one that got me, Mark.
Well, that's what because I asked them. I said, how many undocumented students do you have? And they said, I don't know.
How do you not know?
Well, because they're not required to fill out that information when they come to the school. So, I mean, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I mean, I kind of feel like it's been a while since I've been to college, obviously, but I feel like I had to give them my social security number when I went.
Yeah, I would imagine that under any circumstances in any school. So, and trust me, your whole article blew me away. The fact that they were trying to find creative ways. Now, first of all, let's make this clear. In no way is Mark Fitch saying that CCSU broke the law. It's just the fact that an email was circulated on how could we find a way to get these undocumented or illegals paid internships. No one's broken the law, but the fact that there was a conversation and email spread around, in essence, to find a way to circumvent the law. I mean, that's in a nutshell, correct, right?
Well, yeah, and one of the follow-up emails, is like, one thing we should do is approach businesses and see, if they're open to, working with, undocumented students and stuff like that. I'm like, that's kind of a weird thing to approach a business with, be like, hey, this legal gray area. But like, as I was saying before, though, is you have this group of students who are either paying to be there or, are being paid for to be there in this higher education system. And they're going to get a degree and they're going to get out of that higher education system and not be able to do anything with it.
Exactly.
And so to me, that was kind of hanging over all of this. I'm like, well, you can't even get a paid internship. And what are you going to do when you graduate? And you just, let's say you forked over, your parents were paying, your parents are paying, thousands of dollars a year. And now you have this degree, it's in education, and you can't go get a job as a teacher or anything like that. So it's this, whatever, we obviously have a broken immigration system in this country, and it's not really doing anybody any favors because,
but they seem to be piling on to an already screwed up system because, I mean, in a nutshell, it's a wasted degree. It's like, it's worse than a kid who is a citizen going to a college getting a 4th century Greek art degree. He's not employable. This person who gets a degree, whoever's paying for it, he comes out of it. It doesn't matter because he can't go into a regular job because once he's asked for a legal ID or some sort of identification that he's a citizen of the United States, he's got nothing. So he's holding onto a worthless piece of paper. And the only person benefiting here is the school because they're being paid.
I mean, that's kind of what I was, was kind of bothering me in the whole thing is like, all right, well, how prepared, how much are you preparing these students to, how honest are you being with them, and if you don't even know they're there, and I have a good friend who's a high school guidance counselor, and she was telling me that they deal with this at the high school level too, because the students come and like, well, because yeah, you have students in the school system and they're undocumented and they come to figure out what they're going to do with their future after graduating high school. And, she goes, it's so hard. She goes, a lot of times I don't know what to tell them, because it's like, you can go to college, but it's going to cost money. And then you're going to end up with a degree that you still can't use when you get out. So I don't think it's a good situation for anybody.
But I think that, forgive me because it's not so much that I'm trying to tell you how to do your job in any way, but I think that you see this just as I do. That what's really happening here, if you really think about it, if the high school is giving this kid a high school diploma and then sending him off to the college ranks to have to pay a tuition, then this is nothing more, if I'm to see it anyway, this is a money laundering scheme to some degree, because they're putting in kids into the colleges. Obviously, if they're not being paid for by their parents, I know they're being paid for by these nonprofits who get hundreds of millions of dollars from the government to pay for these kids to go to school, because they're promising there's going to be a pathway to citizenship. But the only thing they're doing is lining the pockets of higher education, because these kids, it doesn't matter that the sheepskin that they walk out with, they can't do anything with it. The only benefactor here, or person who benefits from this, is the school.
Yeah, and honestly, yeah, that is the kind of larger issue that I saw with this, because I don't think that's, obviously, if some of these students, they've been here since they were kids, they've come up through our school system, and now they're in college. It's not their fault. They're doing the best they can, and they want to better their lives and everything like that, but they are being sold something that is not usable.
Yeah,
and I don't know how you fix that, or I don't know what you do about that.
But here's what I would do, if I need to get the chops that you have. But speaking to Justin Elliker, and why I thought your story was so important, because again, these are breadcrumbs. If you think about it, here's Justin Elliker saying that we need to protect these kids that are in our schools, these mothers, these fathers, these DACA kids. We need to get them into, colleges and universities. Obviously, those things are being paid for. Clearly, the colleges and universities are getting their pockets lined, and the kids get a degree that they can't use. Why would the politicians be fighting so hard for these kids to get an education that in the end was worthless? Because the only thing these kids could do is go back to doing the menial jobs that they all end up doing, working in the crops, working in the kitchens, being servers. And if they're not servers, they're going to end up being, bus boys and dishwashers. There's no advancement for them at all.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple, from what I read, there's a couple workarounds, getting an ITIN number where you can kind of become your own independent contractor. But
right,
that really limits you, and depending on what degree you get, you might not be able to do much with it. And it's interesting you mentioned DACA, because a lot of people think DACA probably covers a lot of these students, but that's kind of stuck in this legal limbo.
Yeah,
and I did a little extra research just preparing for this talk today, and it looks like there's probably about 410,000 undocumented students in higher education in the United States. I mean, that's probably a best guess.
Right.
And
it's probably more.
100, yeah, maybe more, but only about 100,000+ are actually covered by DACA. So
wow,
and DACA students, they can do the paid internships, they can get the jobs, they are work eligible.
Right.
So the rest is just kind of like, all right, you're gonna get this degree, and that's great for you personally, but I don't know what it's gonna do for them professionally, because they come out into an economy and a system where they're not able to participate.
The other part about this, and you mentioned it, was also something that sort of stuck with me. You said a lot of them can apply for what's called an ITIN number. For those of you who are not familiar, it's an individual taxpayer identification number. So this, in essence, allows those individuals to pay taxes on the salaries or money that they receive. But this would defeat the whole undocumented thing, Mark, because with an ITIN, they are now documented migrants, aren't they?
No, it's because I was trying to read this. No, it's what it does is enables them to work as a independent contractor or as a 1099 employee. Not employee, but like so there's 1099.
Right. So there's no guarantee that they'll be paying taxes on those 10, because they have to self-report what they earned. Yes.
Oh yeah, you'd have to self-report. Yep. And it's still not employment. It doesn't, if you get an ITIN number, it doesn't count as, like you are now allowed to work in the United States. It's very limited in its application. And, obviously, maybe you can get out and you can do that and be a great independent contractor, but then, you got to cover your own, healthcare costs and all those kind of things. It's a lot of stuff that comes with a.
You lose money with a 1099.
You could be able to do.
You lose money with a 1099. I started my moving company as a 1099, and it was just me and a couple of movers, and before I had to go legit. But yeah, you lose a lot of money because of course you got to have some health care, and you also have to have insurance for your employees. So I know I lost a lot of money the first year. So yeah, I totally get that. This, to me, and before I let you go, this sounds like a scam bigger than what we're reading so far in your report. Do you expect to do further digging on this to at least find out, like, maybe if this is going on in other colleges, or are you working on something else?
I do want to follow up a little bit on this because, in like more to your point, following up on what these students going through this college process and not being able to do anything with it, and it's like, okay, who benefits here? The colleges benefit, and that to me seems like the bigger issue. Like, are we being honest with not only these students, but are we being honest with ourselves?
Mm-hmm.
We might feel good about saying, hey, let's get them educations and stuff like that, but then there's money that's going towards that. Sometimes out of their own pockets, and when you get out of it, what's return on investment?
Exactly.
I think that's kind of the bigger problem here.
Yeah, to me it sounds like a slush fund, because again, these are who's paying for these college tuitions. Clearly, if these people are migrants or illegals or whatever the case may be, they don't have the money for college. Someone's benefiting from that. So is this sort of like a funnel where money in essence gets laundered from government to nonprofits to the colleges, and then somehow back to somewhere else? Something's got to be happening here, because it doesn't make sense, because the end result is the kid that they're using these finances for gets nothing.
Yeah, I mean, if you need an entire team of administrators to figure out how to get somebody a paid internship, I mean, they're going to be screwed when it comes to trying to get a job after college.
Yeah, exactly. Mark Fitch of Connecticut Inside Investigators. Go read his report on InsideInvestigator.org for more on this story. And Mike, Mark, let us know if you do any follow-ups. Please just give me a text, man, and let me know if you've got any other follow-ups coming up on this story or any others. All right?
You got it.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you. Let's get another check of our traffic with Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Good afternoon to you, and good afternoon, everyone. And if you are making your way in toward downtown Hartford right now, you're going to see delays in Hartford as you move down by exit 34. This traffic report is being brought to you by Tab Computer Systems, a 100% employee-owned company. Southbound 91 delays from exit 34 down to 32 A and B, and then you're going to move well until you get down into Cromwell, a little tight by the Route 9 interchange, exit 22, and a little slow again from 19 to 17 in Meriden. If you're traveling northbound 91, that looks good. Cromwell up into Hartford. We are seeing some delays, though, up in Windsor now from exit 38 Pequannock Avenue up to the Dexter-Coffin Bridge. Road work in the left and left center lane, so you want to stay to the right there. If you are traveling westbound 84, delays 56 Governor Street out to 45 Flatbush Avenue, 84 eastbound slowing 44 Prospect Oakwood into the area of 48 Capitol Avenue. Westbound 84 a little tight in East Hartford approaching 57. 291 through 84 okay to the river, 2 eastbound moving well Glastonbury to Marlboro, 9 northbound slowing Harbor Park to the Aragoni Bridge. 691 westbound, you're tight from 7 to exit 8B. As you head to 84 West in Cheshire, delays 84 West itself from the 691 interchange up to exit 25. 84 eastbound slowing 17 up to exit 18. And 84 eastbound in Danbury delays New York, Connecticut line to 5. Again, slowing from exit 8 in Danbury out to exit 11 in Newtown. Southbound Parkway locked up 63 down to 60 in Hamden. 95 south slowing from the Q Bridge to 43 in West Haven, and 91 southbound delays 6 down in toward the 95 interchange. At Tab Computer Systems, our employee owners are dedicated to your business success. We offer affordable enterprise-grade solutions in cybersecurity, VoIP, compliance, IT consulting, implementation, and support. Technologies advancing business. Tab Computer Systems. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather. For the rest of our Friday afternoon, sunny to partly cloudy, breezy, at high of 61. Then tonight, mainly clear, still breezy, quite cold, the low down to 35. Now, mostly sunny, windy on Saturday. The high of 61 will feel like it's in the 50s at best, with the northwest winds 15 to 25 miles an hour. Still quite breezy Sunday, sunny to partly cloudy. That high of 63 again, feeling more like the 50s with that busy north-northwest wind. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
And now, a WTIC news update.
52 in Hartford at 4:30. I'm Dave Mager, WTIC 1080 News. Red flag warning in effect through 6 p.m. A Southwest Airlines flight preparing to leave Denver was evacuated when a cell phone battery caught fire.
Flight 3316 was set to travel from Denver to Houston. Southwest says the passenger whose phone caught on fire is being treated for burns. One passenger reported a minor injury during the evacuation, but Southwest says all 108 passengers did safely evacuate the aircraft. The Denver International Airport emergency response crews did respond to this incident.
CBS's Chris Van Cleve reporting no injuries reported as a state police cruiser was struck by a wrong-way driver just after midnight in Litchfield. It was on Route 8 North. Police say after 911 calls reporting the driver, a trooper tried to signal him to stop. That's when the car tried to get around the cruiser at about 30 miles an hour, striking it. The driver, 85-year-old Gerald LaPointe of Massachusetts, was ticketed for wrong-way driving. Lebanon is asking Iran to help secure a ceasefire in the war between Israel and Hezbollah. CBS's Elizabeth Palmer reports it appears talks are progressing.
There's been cautious optimism that a ceasefire with Hezbollah in Lebanon is close. That would stop the violence on one front of Israel's wider war. But even though negotiations are clearly underway, the fighting hasn't stopped. Israel issued an evacuation order to civilians in the Beirut suburb of Golberi this morning and then fired missiles to flatten the building next to one of the city's busiest traffic intersections.
The nation's factories aren't quite as busy these days.
A September slowdown in U.S. industrial production continued in October, according to the Federal Reserve. The Fed blamed the slump on a strike against aircraft manufacturer Boeing and the impact of Hurricane Milton and the lingering effects of Hurricane Helene.
That's CBS's Jim Krasula. The Dow was down 306 points. S&P dropped 79. The NASDAQ was down 427 points. In sports, women's college basketball, number 2 UConn plays number 14 North Carolina. NBA, the Brooklyn Nets at the New York Knicks. Hockey, the Wolfpack hosting Charlotte. For more, check out WTIC.com. I'm Dave Mager, WTIC 1080 News.
There's a price war in the insurance business, and you may be paying too much. Call the Term Lifeline right now and see if you can save 40%. $500,000 plans and up, that's our specialty. Even great smokers' rates. Protect your family today. Call the Term Lifeline right now for a free quote. 866-549-TERM. 866-549-TERM. 866-549-TERM.
This Thanksgiving at Total Wine & More, find bourbons and Cabernets that you adore. Our helpful guides are so friendly and nice, so many bottles to try at the lowest price. So gather with friends as you sit down to eat. Grateful for all who made Thanksgiving complete.
With curbside pickup and delivery available and the lowest prices for over 30 years, you'll always find what you love and love what you find. Only at Total Wine & More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Woohoo! Another girls' night out.
Whoa, a minute.
I'm so stressed from shopping, I couldn't find anything.
Ready to go.
Have you tried shopping jewelry television? JTV? I don't know. Everyone in my family is so different. JTV has thousands of jewelry styles. Artisan, diamonds, pearls, colored gemstones, watches, even gift sets. I shop on TV and online.
New JTV customers save up to $40 when you shop jtv.com/radio.
Now, can you relax? Yes. Another round? Yes.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says.
Avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
Oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com.
Anton.
For wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, honey bear.
Because remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
The airing of grievances. Grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. You're going to hear about it.
There are going to be a lot of grievances today. I know it's going to be, there's a lot of people holding online, but don't worry, we will get to them. I will also talk about this Whoopi Goldberg, I guess, weird scandal going on with a bakery in Staten Island. It's actually kind of despicable what Whoopi Goldberg did, and the backlash for this should be fierce. It should be fierce because what she did to this family-owned business was reprehensible. If you haven't heard, this is what Whoopi Goldberg said on her show, The View, which started the whole debacle.
The place that made these refused to make them for me.
Really?
Yes.
Oh,
No. Let me explain. They said that their ovens had gone down, all kinds of stuff, but folks went and got them anyway, which is why I'm not telling you who made them. But can't be because I'm a woman, but perhaps they did not like my politics. Yeah. But that's okay.
So she went on to say that the bakery in Staten Island wouldn't make her mother's favorite dessert because they didn't like Whoopi Goldberg's politics, and that was false. And people went on to harass that organization, that company that had been around for over 100 years. And the Bronx Borough president, Staten Island Borough president came out and supported the bakery. This is a little bit of what he said.
And I think the bottom line here is after we're going to call up Jill, who has had to endure something that she shouldn't have to endure. These people are up at 3 or 4 o'clock every morning. The sacrifices they've made, the holidays they've missed with their families. To make Staten Island better, they have sacrificed for 145 years. Rutherford B. Hayes was the president of the United States, for God's sakes. And they're still here, and they're still strong, and they're not going anywhere, despite what other people on television have to say. And frankly, the people who defamed the Holterman family should apologize to the Holterman family for making stuff up to suit their needs.
Yeah, so that is Bronx Borough President Vito Vasella. And Staten Island Borough President Vito Vasella talking about the Holterman Bakery, which has been around over 100 years, and the way in which they were besmirched by Whoopi Goldberg. And people have flooded their telephone to buy stuff from them. It's Bud Light and Target all over again. Let's get to Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Good afternoon to you, and good afternoon, everyone. Heading into Hartford right now, southbound side of I-91 delays 33 down to 32 A&B. Another bump down by exit 28. And once you get around that, you get a good ride down in toward Meriden. Northbound 91's a little slow at 22, the Route 9 interchange. You're going to see delays again from 38 Pequannock Avenue in Winter up to the Dexter-Coffin Bridge. We've got road work in the left and left center lanes there. You got to stay to the right with that. If you're westbound 84, you're running slow 56 Governor Street out to 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound delays about a half mile before 46 Sisson Avenue down into the tunnel. 2 westbound slowing exit 4 to the 84 west merge. A little slow 291 eastbound I-91 over to the Bissell Bridge. Heading toward Middletown 9 northbound slowing at the Aragoni. 84 westbound in Cheshire, some tight traffic from the 691 interchange up to 25 in Waterbury. 84 eastbound Waterbury slowing 17 to 18. 84 eastbound Danbury, you're locked up New York Connecticut line out to 5. Again, 84 eastbound slowing from 8 in Danbury out to exit 11 in Newtown. Southbound Parkway delays 63 into the West Rock Tunnel. 91 southbound delays 7 in toward the 95 interchange in New Haven. 95 south delays from the Q Bridge to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Mainly clear, breezy, and cold tonight. The low down to 35. The northwest winds already up to 10 to 20 miles an hour overnight. Then a windy weekend with the gusty winds, low humidity, and copious amounts of dry brush. We are going to have a high fire threat throughout the weekend as well. So do be aware and be cautious. Mostly sunny, windy, mild for us temperature-wise, at least on Saturday. But that high of 61 is going to feel like it's in the 50s at best with the northwest winds of 15 to 25 miles an hour. Sunny to partly cloudy, breezy, again, mild temps Sunday, but it's going to feel much cooler than the advertised 63 with the north-northwest winds at 10 to 20. Monday, less windy, another mild day, pleasant temperatures at least, more clouds than sun. I can't rule out a shower, the high of 63 Monday. Tuesday, breezy again, mostly sunny day, the high of 59, mostly sunny, less breezy Wednesday. Cooler, the high of 58. Right now, New Haven at 57, New London 54, it's 55 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Join us this Sunday for Tumulo Financial, your go-to for retirement planning and taxes. Tune in to the father and son duo from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. or catch the replay from 5 to 6 p.m. Tumulo Financial Retirement Planning with Integrity on WTIC News Talk 1080.
There's a lot on the line in a divorce. Your home, savings, retirement, maybe even kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce and the unexpected directions it can take, you really need a partner you can count on. I'm Rick Julius, a partner at Cordell & Cordell. We're committed to helping protect your personal interests and the life you've built. Don't let divorce take more than it has to. Talk to us today.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Hartford area attorneys. Phyllis McCutcheon, licensed in Connecticut. Online at CordellCordell.com.
Do you
1 minute.
Old videotapes and photos with memories you'd love to share with the family this Christmas? Right now, get exclusive early access to Legacy Box's biggest deal of the year. Digitize your memories for just $9 per tape. That's right, only $9 to preserve and share your precious moments. VHS, VHS-C, Hi-8, film reels, and more, saving you over $15 per item. Not to mention, when you digitize your memories now, Legacy Box sends all your memories back on the cloud, so they're easy to access by Christmas, and you can relive them with your family just in time for the holidays. You've heard about Legacy Box all year, but now is the best time to digitize your memories. Hurry, this $9 deal won't last long. Head to legacybox.com/value for early access to our best deal of the year. Don't wait. Secure your digitized memories by Christmas at legacybox.com/value.
The airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. You're going to hear about it.
We are back on this airing of Grievance Friday on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC. Aaron is in Goshen. He's got to go right now because he has been holding on for a while. Aaron, thank you for holding and being so patient. What do you got for me today?
Oh, so I'd like to tie this all into mental health and the media.
Oh, yeah.
They've just been adding more examples. I think the biggest player to be blamed for a lot of these people that are suffering from the results of the election is the media. They've been telling everybody that Trump is the second coming of Adolf Hitler. We've been telling everybody that this is going to be fascism, and there's going to be there's going to be internment camps. There's going to be, I mean, the most bizarre, craziest stuff. And to be honest with you, I'm convinced that it's subliminal messaging. It's MK Ultra at its finest that when you turn on the TV.
Yeah.
I don't think it's by accident that most of your conservative listeners don't watch regular TV or regular TV
it's
programs.
So true. Even you know what, Aaron, I have stopped. It's crazy. All of my television is done through the filter of online, and I can, I pick and choose the stuff in which I sort of ingest. It's crazy. And everyone else I know, they always talk to me about, hey, you watching this program? You watching that one? And I'm going, no, I really don't have the time. It's not that I don't have the time. It's that I really find no interest in all of that. I actually take in the stuff I want to without just sort of ingesting everything. I find that really, maybe it's just me being different, but you're right about that.
No, I think it's Mockingbird media. I mean,
that's true.
Something like right now, RFK Jr.'s Unhinged.
Yeah.
Every single news outlet across America will have the exact same headline spiel down to the T. You think that's by accident? No, it's mass programming.
Yeah, it's true.
Taking place on these people.
It is
and
so
we're
true.
Watching their programming break down. And once they make a mistake, like killing their father, killing their career, killing anything, and reality slaps them in the face, and they realize they've broken their hypnosis. I mean, it's no different than watching somebody hypnotize somebody on stage.
Yeah,
right?
that was the reason why. I mean, I jokingly, tongue-in-cheek, said these people are waking up from this hypnotism going, oh, my God, what did I do? It's like...
And so you can definitely do that to people, and I'm saying that I think it is clearly happening, and you're seeing it happen with all these people glitching out with the fact that what they've been told and programmed and conditioned to see and hear is not going to come true. So they can't handle it.
Yeah.
And that's what we're unfortunately seeing.
Yeah.
The other thing I'd like to say too about RFK, I mean, I think he's a great candidate.
So do I.
We've learned that the periodic food table is a bunch of BS. Since they implemented that, we've had nothing but fat people. Hey, by the way, what has Big Pharma cured in the last 60 years, other than just selling us a pill you take for the rest of your life? It's just mass symptoms. Not a cure.
The most successful thing they've been able to do is apparently that non-smoking drug that in the beginning side effects included anal bleeding.
Well, I was going to go with erection pills, right? Because that's another.
Well, even that was by accident.
Yeah. So look, my whole spiel is maybe we need to start looking at an alternative way to heal. The other thing with our food, look at all the chemicals that are in our food that are banned in Europe and in other countries.
Yeah.
Maybe that contributes to us being the fattest country in the world and the most unhealthy. You know, it's funny that the Food and Drug Administration are in cahoots with each other because eat the poison food, take the poison pills, and then go off and die.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to look at a separation. Maybe it's the poison food that you're eating that's now put you on the pathway to have to take these pharmaceutical drugs. And it doesn't matter, baby. They get rich on both sides.
Yeah, well, next week.
Really care about the people,
next week we're gonna get a little in depth on Robert Kennedy Jr. because I'm getting a lot of audio clips that I want to play. Because again, you're right. That sort of social programming in our news media that's attacking him. I'm going to go into a little in depth on Health and Human Services and its former secretaries of Health and Human Services, which again makes no sense to me.
How about the one that didn't even know what gender it was?
Yeah, exactly.
And if you look around the world at some of these other socialist taken over countries,
yeah,
their health czar they're some of the most unhealthiest people you've ever seen, and we're supposed to take their advice.
Indeed,
it's like getting advice from somebody on how to raise kids who's never raised kids.
Exactly,
this is insanity.
Javier Becerra, to have Javier Becerra, the head of HHS now, and then talk about Robert Kennedy Jr. as if he's some whack job is laughable in my book. But thank you, Aaron. I appreciate you, sir. Thanks for holding on for me. Let's go to White Mike in Florida. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, man. Well, to answer the question your previous caller just asked about what Big Pharma has succeeded at.
Yeah.
Their most successful product in the last decade have been medicine to stop the transmission of HIV among promiscuous homosexuals.
Did they stop the transmission, or is this like, isn't it sort of the new, what's it called? It's not what's the word I'm looking for? It doesn't clear it, right? It doesn't cure you of it.
The PrEP medicines prevent transmission of HIV.
Right, transmission. Okay. Doesn't cure you of it, though.
But you won't get it.
Right.
If you have unprotected activity, you won't give it to somebody else.
Ah. Okay. Well, you know what? In that case, applaud them. At least they did that.
Yeah, because, we couldn't have spent that money on Parkinson's disease
Indeed.
or Alzheimer's or cancer or anything. But, so I heard in one of your breaks earlier, Hakeem Jeffries questioning the credibility of Trump cabinet appointees.
Yes.
Are they the most qualified? Because, when I think qualified cabinet members, I think Biden administration, because nobody's more qualified than Rachel Levine.
Exactly. I knew you were going to bring him up.
There's going to have to be some pretty hard times in this country to straighten things out.
Yeah.
Trump wants us to be prosperous. He wants our cities to be prosperous and economically successful again. And that's not going to happen until we address crime.
Indeed.
Nobody's going to invest money in these cities with the crime rates. And my question is, are the usual suspect residents of these cities going to shut their pie holes and let what needs to be done to these cities, or are they going to riot and rise up every time the cops come in and bust a bunch of drug dealers?
Yeah, but you're 100% right. It's not just the drug dealers. Don't forget those people in the smash and grabs and the dragging the ladies down the street by their purses on mopeds. every bit or every facet of what's got to be considered, because a lot of people talk about, oh, it's organized. It's like organized by cartels and what. No. I don't even care who it's organized by. I want every one of those individuals who are responsible for those things. I want them all locked up, and I don't want to hear the whole Reagan drug arrest nonsense that they took fathers away from their babies. No. Commit the crime, do the time.
I don't want to hear any crying about police brutality or the techniques that are used to take these people down, and neither should the people who live in these neighborhoods that are victimized by these people.
Indeed.
Because let's be honest, if crime rates were lower, there would be more businesses in these neighborhoods.
That's right.
And the residents would not only have services to utilize, but they would have jobs.
That's right.
But nobody's put a supermarket in a place where it's going to get robbed into bankruptcy.
Exactly. Hey, you know what? I would tell those people like in New Haven and Bridgeport, save your babies. Let's put these animals in jail. Let's get them out of here.
You know, if you know who the criminals are in your neighborhood, it's time for you to start dropping dimes and cooperating with the police, because it's not going to get better as long as you have these people there. And I don't care who they are, if they're the Hispanic ones, the black ones, the rare Asian gangs in Koreatown.
Yeah.
You know, I would say organized white criminals, but that's not really a thing. Like there's biker gangs and the mafia, and neither of those are the ones putting Walgreens out of business.
Very good point. Some of them are protecting those Walgreens, to be honest with you.
Indeed.
Thank you, Mike.
And by the way,
yes, sir.
My fight prediction tonight: Mike Tyson in the first round. He's going to catch Jake Paul with a body shot, and Jake Paul's going to crap himself and fall down.
You got one round?
One round. Tyson is a monster. If he comes out like 1980s Tyson, like he appears he's gonna, and he's doing peekaboo style and throwing haymakers, he's gonna crush Jake Paul's lever, and he's gonna poop himself and hit the mat.
Ooh, God! I'm sorry. Don't get me anxious. Whew, you're right. It might be one of those fights. I don't think it's coming for the face. I think you're right. I think a body blow is. That's. Right. I don't think Jake's ready for that.
As De La Hoya said, right in the lever.
Thank you, White Mike. Let's go to Joe in New Hampshire. Stock market taking a beating today, Joe.
Reese, we got through a little bit yesterday, but if I had another minute yesterday, I was going to tell everybody the sell-off from the healthcare stocks with the RFK Jr. syndrome.
I saw that.
It's going to cause the market to sell off hard today and again this Monday. I wanted to tell everyone to get back into the UBIX first thing this morning, which I did. I got 60,000 shares. I got in at $3.30.
Well, you can't bury the lead, Joe. Don't bury the lead. Like if you got that kind of tip, you got to lead with that.
What do you got? I was trying to get it through to you yesterday, but anyway. The follow through today, I got in at 3:30. It closed at 3:44 yesterday. Then today, off to the races. It got up to 418 with the sell off.
Yeah.
And it closed at 387. But my options right now, even with the sell down, it came down 39 cents from the high. I still am up about 36,000 just for the one day.
Not bad.
Now, the silver, remember I was up 35,000?
Yeah.
Well, I hung in there a couple more days, and I lost that, and I lost another 37,000, a net swing of 72,000 down. So I've just about made up the 37,000 I lost on the SLV, the silver.
You didn't lose anything today?
Well, silver today came down, but I'm out of it. I took the loss.
Okay.
So I'm in the UBIX 60,000 strong, and Monday, if it goes up again like I expect the market to sell off, I'll just lock in my profit, and roll them over into the $4. I'm buying options, by the way. It's cheaper.
Yeah, I know. Everybody, yeah, I know. Trust me, the option game is that's the let's just say that's the average place right now that a lot of people are going. In fact, that's a big market now for a lot of people who want to learn the market because they're afraid of the stock market.
The professionals do what they call rolling it over. You lock in a profit. It goes up a price level or two.
Yeah.
You sell out, lock in your big profit, and roll them over to a higher price level at, the same price you paid for the lower.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how you accumulate a lot of money fast. But anyway, the market direction, the CNBC today, I'm ready to watch the 5 o'clock Fast Money show. You might want to peek in at that during the 5 o'clock news, CNBC Financial, it's the Fast Money crew. Last night, they were so down on RFK Jr., going to ruin the market, starting with the health stock sell-off. And they said the conservative on the panel today at noon, his name is Weiss, he's about 80 years old. He said he took, and they were all yelling at him today. He's the conservative. He says, I'm into cash now. He says, we did really well this past week. There's nothing wrong with being in cash and you got a big profit, because he says, I don't know when I would return to what's happening right now and what's going to happen. And they were all arguing with each other about this just being a 1 or 2 day event.
Yeah, but the reason why they're concerned, look, they know pharmaceutical stock, in the event that Robert Kennedy Jr. gets anywhere near HHS, the first thing he's going to do is he's going to expose anyone and everyone who is doing damage pharmaceutically to the American people, and having that bully pulpit is going to hurt them, and that's why everybody's afraid. I got to get out of here, though, but, buddy, thank you. I appreciate you. And Monday, hey, listen, Monday, I will. Monday, I want to ask you about DJT, if you can. So my wife is very interested in that stuff.
That was up today.
I know.
In a bad market, that was up today.
I know. Okay, I will talk to you about it soon, sir. I promise. Yeah, so, by the way, when we come back, we've got a 5 o'clock focus that even though it's what do you call it? It's, why am I forgetting the name of my own thing? Airing of Grievance Friday. It's not really a 5 o'clock focus because we don't do 5 o'clock focus, but I thought about our conversation yesterday about AI and technology. And Jen Psaki had an interview or some podcast that she was on where she said something interesting and alarming, and it's growing. The sentiment is growing about mis and disinformation. I want to play that for you in the next hour, along, of course, with your airing of grievances. But I want you to hear what she was saying and why she's such a hypocrite. But I've got a question to ask, and it's really, really grating on me about what we are going to do in the age of social media and the information age altogether. All right, so stick around for that, because it's an interesting question. But if you haven't heard the audio, I'll have it for you in a minute. Can I play it now? Let me see if I play it. Here it is. This one right here.
One of the things that's changed even since I got involved in politics is just the rise of the percentage of people who get their information off of platforms that have no fact-checking mechanism and no accountability for having disinformation spread, right? And as you know well, and I mean, when I got started in Democratic politics, you know, most of it was like local TV ads.
So yeah, she's saying she's concerned that there's no checks and balances in social media. But Jen Psaki's got a lot of nerve. We'll explain when we get back. Let's get into another check of the traffic with Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Good afternoon to you and to everyone. This traffic report is being brought to you by Whittlesea. If you are traveling right now into Hartford on the southbound side of 91, look for some slow traffic up in East Windsor from 45 down to the Dexter-Coffin Bridge. With road work there, after that, you're moving slow 33 down to 32 A and B. Another bump down by exit 28. Northbound 91 to Good Shape Cromwell up into Hartford. Once again, some slow traffic from exit 40 up to the Dexter-Coffin Bridge. Left and left center road work on the DC and the northbound side of 91. Now, on the westbound side of 84, you're slowing 56 Governor Street up to 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound tied up about a half mile before 46 down into the tunnel. 291 eastbound slowing I-91 over to exit 4 in South Windsor. 2 westbound a little slow by 5D again from exit 4 to the 84 West merge in East Hartford. 9 northbound slowing Harbor Park to the Aragoni Bridge in Middletown. 9 northbound a little slow getting by 32 in Berlin. If you're traveling westbound 84, look for delays. 691 interchange in Cheshire up to 25 in Waterbury. Again, 22 to the Mixmaster. 84 eastbound Waterbury tight 17 to 18. 84 eastbound Danbury slowing New York Connecticut line to 5. Again, delays 84 eastbound from 9 up to exit 11 in Newtown. Southbound Parkway delays from 63 in North Haven into the West Rock Tunnel. 91 southbound, you're tight 7 in toward the 95 interchange. 95 southbound delays Q Bridge in New Haven down to 43 in West Haven. Whittlesea wants your business to succeed. Whittlesea is more than an accounting firm. They're advocates for your business, delivering a robust set of solutions, including audit, tax, technology, cybersecurity, and advisory services. Learn more at WAdvising.com. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
For the rest of our Friday afternoon, sunny to partly cloudy, breezy, that high of 61. Then tonight, mainly clear, still breezy, quite cold, the low down to 35. Now, mostly sunny, windy on Saturday. The high of 61 will feel like it's in the 50s at best with the northwest winds 15 to 25 miles an hour. Still quite breezy Sunday, sunny to partly cloudy. That high of 63 again, feeling more like the 50s with that busy north-northwest wind. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
WTIC is 99 and throwing a year-long celebration to 100 years on the air. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
50 degrees, 5 o'clock. I'm Dave Mager, WTIC 1080 News. A red flag warning in effect through 6. 2 students with an airsoft gun caused a lockdown at West Haven High School this morning. No one was hurt. One student brought a plastic airsoft handgun to school. Another student also handled that gun. They were reported by a third student, sparking a major police response, as this student observed.
I saw all the cop cars and stuff, and then I see all these cop cars get out, and there's more, and they're driving on the lawn and stuff, and they run in with the guns, and it was just crazy.
The audio from WFSB, both juveniles face charges, including possession of a weapon on school grounds. Classes were dismissed early. Cheney Tech in Manchester was also dismissed early. That's after a powdery substance believed to be fentanyl was found on a bathroom floor. This happened about 10:30 this morning. According to state police, they say there are no reports of exposure or injury. The debate over RFK Jr. is just getting started. Donald Trump chose vaccine critic Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to lead the Department of Health and Human Services. CBS News Chief Washington correspondent Major Garrett says this is being watched closely.
He raises a lot of legitimate issues. Is there too much corporate influence in foods in America? Is there too much corporate influence in drug regulation in this country? But he's also dead wrong on vaccines and refuses to be accountable for the things he has said falsely about vaccines, talking about those issues. And when you're talking about childhood vaccines like for measles, mumps, and rubella, or polio, or chickenpox, his record is absolutely false, yet creates fear among parents wondering what they should or can do.
The AP reports Trump is challenging the Senate to dare defy him over nominations like Kennedy and Attorney General choice Matt Gaetz. It's forcing Congress to decide how far it will go, if it moves at all, to oppose his plans. Senator Richard Blumenthal joining other Senate Judiciary Democrats, asking the House Ethics Committee to preserve its report on Gaetz. It's unclear if that report will go public now that Gaetz has resigned his House seat. House Speaker Mike Johnson now says it should not be released. Family farms all over Connecticut say they're hurting thanks to severe flooding followed by months of drought. State Agriculture Commissioner Brian Hurlburt.
But after so many successive years of lower production, of challenging markets, they don't have the reserves that they need in order to be considering what to do next year.
Senator Blumenthal is calling on Congress to pass what he calls robust emergency relief soon. He's also promoting the Save Our Small Farms Act, co-sponsored by Congresswoman Johanna Hayes. It would improve access to disaster assistance programs and crop insurance. Blumenthal and Hurlburt appeared at the Killam and Bassett farm stand in South Glastonbury. General Motors cutting about 1,000 jobs, most in the U.S.
GM calls it optimizing for speed and excellence. Global data analyst Jeff Schuster says all car makers are tightening their belts in an uncertain environment.
I think a lot of this is a hedge to what could be happening in the future.
So the word uncertainty comes to mind here.
This uncertainty that we're in certainly is driving a lot of these decisions.
Uncertainty on tax codes, EV adoption, and consumer tastes. Jeff Gilbert, CBS News, Detroit.
On Wall Street, the Dow was down 306, S&P dropped 79, the NASDAQ dropped more than 2% or 428 points. Sports, women's college basketball, number 2 UConn plays number 14 North Carolina with a win. Gino Auriemma can tie Tara Vanderveer of Stanford for most wins by a college basketball coach with 1,216. Hockey tonight, the Wolfpack hosting Charlotte. For more, check out WTIC.com. I'm Dave Mager, WTIC 1080 News.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt...
This is important news. The IRS just rolled out a new program to help struggling taxpayers more easily resolve their tax problems. It's called the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, and it opens up powerful new options for people looking to get back on the right track with the IRS. And no one knows this program like the professionals at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution company. They've resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients and have the expertise and experience to help you. One easy call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries of wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Make today the beginning of your fresh start with the IRS. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief now for your free confidential consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800 or 2840.
Ready to go, Lee.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
You're listening to Reese on the Radio, filling in today for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
The airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. You're going to hear about it.
Airing of grievances this Friday on News Talk 1080 WTIC. Couple of programming notes. Don't forget, check out Reese on the Radio on Sunday. I think we air today at Sunday at 5 p.m. You can check out the program there. Yes, it is pre-taped. I do understand that we are going to have audio from the donor, the Kamala Harris donor, who went viral on Fox and Friends weekend, last weekend. She's coming back to Fox and Friends weekend on Saturday, so we'll have some audio from that as well to talk about what took place there. Jen Psaki.
One of the things that's changed even since I got involved in politics is just the rise of the percentage of people who get their information off of platforms that have no fact-checking mechanism and no accountability for having disinformation spread, right? And as you know well, and I mean, when I got started in Democratic politics, you know, most of it was like local TV ads. That was what it was about. Obviously, national TV, local print. Those local TV is held to a higher standard of account.
Now, here it is. She's talking about local TV being held to a higher standard. But you might remember, Jen Psaki is no arbiter of truth.
I want to ask you about one thing that's gotten some attention this week from the book, which was a story you told about President Biden looking at his watch after caskets had come back from Afghanistan. The story was not told completely accurately, which you've acknowledged. I know some of the folks, including some of the families of those soldiers who were upset by that.
Yeah, she lied about Joe Biden receiving the bodies and looking at his watch. She lied in her own book. So here it is. She's talking about misinformation and disinformation. She's clearly guilty of it. I love these people thinking that they should be the arbiter of what is and what isn't truth. It's incredibly funny. Incredibly funny. Let's get another check of the traffic with Mark Christopher at the BPS Traffic Center. How are we doing out there, Mark?
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Overall, we're okay. Southbound 91 looks slow, 33 down to 32 A and B. Another bump down by exit 28. Northbound 91 moving well, Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. If you are traveling 291 eastbound, a little slow, Bissell Bridge over to exit 4 in South Windsor.
Thank you,
westbound side of 84 slowing, approaching 57. Again, 56 Governor Street out to 47 Sigourney Street. 84 eastbound, you're tied up in Hartford, approaching 46 into the tunnel. 291 eastbound, once again, slowing Bissell Bridge over to exit 4. Now, if you're Route 2 westbound, a little bit tight by 5D. And again, from exit 4 to the 84 West merge in East Hartford. 9 northbound, a little slow, getting by exit 32 in Berlin. Westbound side of 84 sluggish. 691 interchange up into the Mixmaster in Waterbury. 84 eastbound, some slow traffic approaching exit 18 to the Mixmaster. 84 eastbound Danbury, tight 3 to 5. Again, from exit 9 in Newtown out to exit 11 in Newtown. Southbound Parkway still running slow. 63 in North Haven down into the West Rock Tunnel. 91 southbound delays 7 toward the 95 interchange in New Haven. And 95 southbound delays 48 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
It is going to be a chilly night out there with mainly clear skies and quite a breeze out of the northwest. A low down to 35. Mostly sunny, windy throughout the weekend With the low humidity, dry brush, and gusty winds, there will be a high fire threat throughout the weekend. The high of 61 Saturday, the northwest winds at 15 to 25. Sunday, sunny to partly cloudy, breezy, mild temps, the high 63. Going to feel like it's in the 50s, though, with that northwest wind at 10 to 20. Monday, a mild day, more clouds than sun, breezy again in the afternoon. Can't rule out a shower, the high back to 63. Breezy Tuesday, otherwise mostly sunny, the high 59, and mostly sunny Wednesday, the high of 58. Bristol at 51, Mansfield 54, Hartford 54 as well. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
When you're trying to find quality candidates, all
Roland,
the searching, screening, and interviewing can become a job
those
itself.
intros that we
the
had
all-in-one
the
platform
voice of
that makes it
TIC
easy
do.
to
Can I
interview,
write some
screen, and
more? What
hire
do we have to
quality
do? We have to get them
Visit
approved before they can get done.
Indeed.com/credit.
Yeah, you have to. Janine has to approve them.
Okay, but I can write a few and then
Cordell Sports Desk.
See if we can get her to approve them.
Past every
Yeah.
Okay.
Only
you want to? Yeah, just email them to her and then.
Oh, just I can do. Okay, I don't have to go through you. Okay.
Brunetti, we do free. Yeah. I mean, that's up to you. You
I'd rather go through you.
Your neighbor.
How to make sure you're not going to. I mean, I can CC her on them.
And also investment risk. Yeah, so just send them to me. I'll give them to her, and then.
Okay.
Once they're done, then I'm the one that edits them anyway.
Okay. All right. Perfect.
Workshops. Just call or text the word workshop. 1-800-705-1232.
Investment advisory services offered through JB Capital LLC, a registered investment advisor. Insurance products offered through JN Financial LLC.
When Lynn Jennings won the Manchester Road Race in 1994, she left nothing to chance. Jennings told the Hartford Courant afterwards that she drove around the race course 5 times on the day before the event and checked out every nook and cranny of it. Jennings won the bronze medal in the 10,000 meters at the 1992 Olympics and was a 3-time world cross-country champion. You can run with the best this Thanksgiving. Sign up now at manchesterroadrace.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the...
Hold on a minute.
They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today. Us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
The airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. You're going to hear about it.
One of the funniest memes that I've seen online so far is ICE agents carrying Dora the Explorer out of the country. It is the funniest thing I've seen so far. It may traumatize some children, so don't let them see it, but it's actually pretty funny. Can you say deportation? I can. Oh, that's cold. 860-522-WTIC. Craig is in the car. What's going on, big guy?
Reese, I have an observation for you. This is Jen Psaki. What a piece of work she is.
Yeah.
She wants us to get our information from mainstream news outlets and TV commercials and all that. I'll tell you something. I'll get my information from Mark from West Hartford, or Joe from Simsbury, or any of these people, and I'll figure it out myself before I'll get my news from, and I'm sorry to say this, from that liberal hack you have doing your news, that Dave Mager. That guy gets worse every single time he does.
He's not giving personal opinion. He's just reading copy. You're going after him.
Well, it's funny because I can listen to a Morgan Cunningham all day and it's not that biased, but every time Mager comes on, it's negative Trump, negative Trump, negative Trump. Today's been all RFK. It's just here's what's happening.
Uh-huh.
I have you on in the background for 3 hours a day.
You do.
I am to the point now where every time the news comes on, I hit the mute button. because I can't listen to it anymore.
Wow.
I just happened to be in the car today, so I was listening to them. I'm done with it, which means I'm not listening to your advertiser spots.
Oh, okay. I understand that, and that's not helpful. But hear me out. Listen, hear me out. And I say this in defense of, because trust me when I tell you, I've said this for a long time now, Craig, that I listen to talk radio all across the country. Thank God for the apps, Odyssey in particular. I listen to every one of them. And again, not so I can get material, but I love what people are talking about to see whether or not they're all following the template as you do. And you have no idea. The same thing comes from host to their news network. In fact, there's one in San Antonio, the infamous NASCAR guy, Trey Ware. I'm sure you're familiar with him. If you are into NASCAR, he goes after his top of the news guys every day on his show. And I laugh because I go, I know it's not indicative of the stuff that he does on the air. He's an opinion host. Of course, he's a conservative. He's a big Donald Trump guy. And he goes to, I'm telling you, he loses it on the air every time he talks about the top of the hour news. My deal is that when it's obvious and there's evidence to support that is a fabricated news story, that's when you hear, a lot of people push back and go, look, it's clearly not true that what's the quote unquote stated issue of the day. And we've got to do that thing that's sort of like say, okay, here's the comment, here's why it was said that way, and here's the truth. But I get the frustration. Don't get me wrong. I understand the frustration. I just hope you don't take it personal.
I'm not saying it's fabricated. I'm just saying it's so biased in one direction. Look, the people that listen to this station are here for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need to hear that crap. We know it's out there.
Yeah.
I'll watch The View if I want to listen to that stuff. I'm not watching The View. And I'm not listening to the news in between your.
I don't know. Like I said, I don't understand again, I get it. First of all, there is a tinge, if you will, that comes from the CBS, the ABC, and even the Fox News sort of top of the hour that almost follows this. They don't see the subjectivity of the reporting. Is that the best way to put it? It's like how subjective the headline is, right? It's like there's that going on, and I get that's the frustration.
I know you're doing other stuff during the commercial breaks, but you really need to. You today in particular, it's maddening.
Okay.
But anyway, Reese, have a great weekend, man.
Yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate it, man. You too as well. And you look, I can't wait to be back here on Monday. You know the drill. There's no weekend for me. Thank you, boss man. Nick is in Simsbury. How we doing, Nick?
Hey, Reese. I'm going to start out by saying I love you.
Thank you.
Love your show. I'm so glad you're on all the time. I don't know what happened with Todd. I was listening one day in July, and he was on, and then he wasn't, and then you were there, and it's all good.
Thank you.
I got a grievance.
Let's go.
So I just heard you about an hour ago say this, and I've heard some of your guests, your callers say it. When did it become acceptable to say JC on the air and not have it bleeped out in your edit? There's plenty of people. Jesus Christ.
Okay. So is that considered blasphemy in your view?
Well, there's plenty of people who listen to your station.
Yes.
That's just as bad as the F word.
Oh.
And I think with FCC rules, it used to be that was really not acceptable. I mean, and I'll be the first one to admit, privacy in my home, I'm probably saying it a few times a day.
Understood.
But not on the public airways. So I'm just saying it for you and for your guests and for the guy that's editing and doing whatever with your 20-second or whatever it is, your delay.
So
you really should think about it.
Well, Nick, I appreciate the point of view. Hear me out. So you were saying to someone when they were just having a conversation and in the midst of it, use the term JC.
You said it. You said it today about an hour ago. Somebody was talking to you. And that's why I called in. Like, you've had a few callers in saying, I'm like,
okay, no, I understand.
And it becomes kind of like normal.
Right.
It really shouldn't be normal.
Okay, and listen, I totally understand your point of view here, but if I may, can you allow me to push back?
Absolutely.
Okay, so there used to be a time when I got how do I put this? I got criticism for the way in which I used the term GD. Okay, and I'm pretty sure you know that sort of term. But I never used it. When I was growing up, because my mom would not allow me to use the Lord's name in vain, I started to say the phrase got, G-O-T, in saying that. So when I do use it, I make sure that I don't. Like, I don't curse on the air. I'll say something like, mother, father. Right? Now, I will admit, my upbringing, because I'm, again, from New York, and it is a lingo thing, it has always been a terminology which we used. I know that there are some, I don't want to use the term pious because that may be taken as a pejorative, but I understand that there are people who are of the faith who find it offensive. However, if someone is using it, I'm sure that they're not using it as the Lord's name in vain, and I think that you know that too. But I need to understand exactly why you consider it a slur that you would say is tantamount to the F word.
Well, I'm just saying that because there are plenty of people who have that belief, and I think that may be a good number of the people in your audience. All I'm saying is I think as the radio host of this show, radio hosts should be held to a little bit of a higher standard. And irrespective of whether or not your screener is bleeping it out during the delay.
I understood.
I think that the host should have a higher standard. And,
okay.
That's all. And again, I love you. I think you're great. I want nothing for the best for you. I hope you get national syndication and all that good stuff. It's just that, again.
If there's any grievance that you have, that's the only.
I say it multiple times during the day, so I'm not going to be a hypocrite here.
Right.
But I also don't have a radio show and say it out for, thousands and thousands of people to hear it just as like a pass along, because it does mean something to a good number of people.
Nick, you know what, Nick, I take that into consideration. I hope you understand that I am not poo-pooing what you're saying. I just need to understand what you mean. And I know that you're not asking me to censor myself, but you're holding me to a standard. And thank you so much for loving the show and loving what I do. I do have to consider it. If it's, you know what? I'll put it to you this way. I will keep it in mind, and I would ask anyone who is listening to take into consideration what Nick and Simsbury said and give me your opinion. If you think that it somewhat may be offensive to those of the faith or those who are, please let me know. And if it is something that you're uncomfortable with, of course, I'd like to at least express myself in a way that is never, ever offensive to a core of my audience. But you're right. I don't think I use it that much, do I? Nick, you listen all the time.
Oh gosh, no, that's the first time I heard it.
Oh, okay.
I heard it from you.
Okay, all right. So I'm not liberal with the term. Okay, all right, it makes sense.
Oh gosh, don't use the L word, Reese. Don't use the L word.
Is that more blasphemous than JC?
You got that right.
Nick, thank you. And you know what? The criticism. Listen to me. That coming from you means everything, because it's not done with malice, which I clearly hear in your voice. And thank you so much for loving the show and appreciating my time here. Like I said, nothing is promised, but it's nice to hear from you. And thank you for giving us a call, man.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
You got it. Bye-bye. Let's go to Dave in Brantford. How we doing?
Yeah, please.
Come on. Give him his props. How we doing, Dave? How are you, sir?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. I have a grievance.
Go for it.
And it gets back to Elliker with the renamed intersection for Malik and Emma Jones.
Yes.
Who accomplished nothing in this world. They're getting a celebration. Basically, they are ink blots on a Rorschach test of police hatred is what they are.
I believe.
And the same thing, Trayvon Martin, Michael Brown, George Floyd, these people accomplished nothing in life. They were in a bad place at the wrong time. That's not worth celebrating. And I'm thinking in the city of New Haven, the same alders who want to put up a plaque for Malik Jones, they want to rename Whitney Avenue. named after Eli Whitney.
Wow.
It's a museum called the Eli Whitney Museum in New Haven. They want to rename the Whitney Museum. Who invented the cotton gin. He has various gun patents to his name. He lived in the city of New Haven, a man of accomplishment. And I want to know what happened to the awards for, let's say, Ben Carson or the dead Herman Cain, black people who actually accomplished something that is noteworthy, a goal worth attaining if you're a young guy in high school looking for who you want to imitate.
Dave, I would go so far as this. Listen, remember who we're dealing with. These are the same people who did not want Clarence Thomas in the Smithsonian for African American history in Washington, but yet put up a display for Anita Hill. And when asked, again, this is a Smithsonian run by white people, when asked why Clarence Thomas, the second African American Supreme Court justice, was not represented, those people said, and I quote, "We can't tell everyone's story."
Well, before I hang up, I want to add this one. There was a black senator from Massachusetts. I'm in my 70s, so I remember him. Ed Brooke.
Yeah, know him well.
No young people and nobody in the city of New Haven. No kids know who Ed Brooke was. There's a story about how a black man in New England can get elected as a Republican, but if no one tells them that, no one even tries.
Yeah.
And that's my grievance.
You know what? It's a perfect grievance. Celebrating mediocrity, and in this case, criminal activity, as I told Justin Elliker, it's a slap in the face. And his response to that was, well, he's a young kid who got shot by police, and through gun violence, I might add. I got to remember the gun violence part in all of this. All right. So we've got a couple of calls. Please stay on the line. I promise you we're going to come back to you. All right. So everybody will get a chance to air their grievance, and maybe they can respond to Nick in where was he? Where's he calling from? Simsbury? Nick was in Simsbury. Yeah, maybe they can respond to Nick in Simsbury. I don't usually use that term, but now I'm all cautious about it. Nick's got me he's got me shook on it. But I don't know, whatever. We'll talk about that and so much more. Jen Psaki, you know what? I would love to hear from somebody if you could, because maybe I'll do it for the 5 o'clock focus on Monday. Maybe not. The question I had was, if they had such a crackdown on social media where you couldn't just talk about everything or anything for that matter, would you just stop using it? Or would you have to? Like, would you be stuck there? Because I remember Craig said yesterday that you have to sort of embrace the future, right? You have to embrace the technology. Like, where we are is where we are. So social media is where we are and how in which we communicate. I mean, gosh, I couldn't imagine social media without many of you in the chat room. You know, so many people every day. I've got another friend request. You know, the audience online is growing. I would hate to have to leave it because of some stupid censorship rule. You got people in England going to jail over social media posts. Gosh, I hope that never happens here. Let's take another check into traffic with Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Good afternoon. If you are heading into Hartford right now, this traffic report being brought to you by Stu Leonard's. Westbound side of 84, you're tied up now, 56 Governor Street out to 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound slows about a half mile before 46th Avenue down into the Bulky Bridge. If you're traveling southbound 91, delays 33 to 32, a little slow by exit 28. After that, good ride toward Meriden. Northbound 91 moving well, Cromwell through downtown up in a winter. 291, 384, okay, east of the river. 2 westbound slowing exit 4 to the 84 West merge, quiet Middletown.
You sure do, Michael B. You sure do.
Southbury
That would be
16 to 17. Westbound 84 sluggish. Stop and go. 691 interchange right up to the Mixmaster in Waterbury. 84 eastbound Danbury tight 3 to 5. Again, 84 eastbound slowing in Newtown 9 to 11. Southbound Parkway delays 62 down into the West Rock Tunnel. 95 South New Haven tight 46 to 43 in West Haven. 91 southbound delays 6 down in toward the 95 interchange in New Haven. This week, great deals at Stu Leonard's Farm Fresh Foods. Bone-in beef short ribs are only $7.99 per pound. On the Stu's app, you save $3 per pound. Plus, organic extra large red seedless grapes are $2.99 per pound. That's $1 savings. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
To you by True Law, thickvets.com.
WTIC weather.
For the rest of our Friday afternoon, it'll be sunny to partly cloudy and breezy, the high of 61. Mainly clear, increasingly windy tonight. Quite cold, the low down to 35 with that northwest wind cranking up to 10 to 20. Then on our Saturday, mostly sunny, windy, the high of 61. Will feel like the 50s at best during the day with that northwest wind up to 15 to 25 miles an hour. Sunny to partly cloudy, still breezy and quite cool Sunday, the high 63, feeling again like the 50s with the north-northwest wind, still at 10 to 20. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
There's a lot happening in Washington and in your local neighborhood. Follow WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey app to keep up with the latest. And now, a WTIC News Update.
49 in Hartford at 5:30. I'm Dave Mager, WTIC 1080 News. Red flag warning is in effect through 6 o'clock. State Attorney General William Tong calls public utilities out of touch. That's after Eversource filed its winter rates. Standard service will rise by 24% in January for a total average bill increase of 7% at 11 cents per kilowatt hour. Eversource says the rate is 24% lower than last winter.
They do say that the rate is lower, but this is an increase any way you cut it. And it's unsustainable. It's unaffordable. The people of this state can't take it anymore.
State Senate Republicans blame Democrats for not taking up a special session on electric rates. Tong calls that argument disingenuous. Classes dismissed early today at West Haven High School after a lockdown. No one was hurt. Police say a student reported another with what appeared to be a gun. It turns out a student did bring a plastic airsoft handgun to school. He and another student wound up handling the gun inside the school. Both juveniles were arrested and face charges including possession of a weapon on school grounds. The financial future of the pharmaceutical industry is in doubt with word of a key cabinet nomination.
Drug maker stocks are selling off after President-elect Trump nominated vaccine critic Robert F. Kennedy Jr. as Secretary of the Department of Health and Human Services, which oversees the Food and Drug Administration as well as the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Kennedy earlier this month told an MSNBC interview that there are entire departments within the FDA that have to go, including nutrition. Kennedy has also gone on record against weight loss drugs. Moderna, Novavax, and Pfizer are leading the pharma sell-off.
CBS's Jason Brooks reporting. On Wall Street, the Dow was down 306, S&P dropped 79, the NASDAQ was off 428 points. Sports, women's college basketball, number 2 UConn plays number 14 North Carolina. NBA, the Nets at the Knicks. Hockey, the Wolfpack hosting Charlotte. For more, check out WTIC.com. I'm Dave Maker. WTIC 1080 News.
Men, it's the holidays, a time of love and joy. But if you suffer from erectile dysfunction, the season can be tough on you. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health, and if you and your partner are struggling because of ED, change it up this year. Give the best gift you can give to the one you love by treating your ED and restoring your relationship. In Northeast Men's Health, we're experts in treating ED, and as a Promedic restorative health practice, we've literally seen thousands of relationships renewed across the nation. Plus, with treatments having success rates well over 90%, coupled with many treatment options, we can likely find the right one for you. You may even find you're performing like you haven't in years. So call us and give your partner the best gift you can give this season, a renewed, restored relationship. Your first visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956 or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 5 offices across the Northeast to serve you. Northeast Men's Health, a Promedic restorative health practice.
Prescriptions require an online consult. Who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMSS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMSS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off.
Here we go.
Go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
The airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. You're going to hear about it.
We're back. Reese on the Radio, News Talk 1080 WTIC. Let's get back to the phone so everybody can air their grievance. Let's go to Lori in Glastonbury. How are we doing, Lori?
Hey, Reese. How are you?
I'm fine. So am I saying JC too often? No, I'm kidding. Well, I know I'm
You know
not.
what? I knew you would know why I was calling in. And two, I appreciate Nick's point. You've said it a couple times, and it's bothered me, but I understand that not everybody has a relationship with Jesus the way that I do. And
okay.
So when I hear someone say it and use it in kind of a negative, exclamatory way, for me, it's like you're disrespecting someone that I love.
Okay. And
so that's how I hear it. But again, I also have the understanding that not everybody loves him the way that I do.
Okay. All right. So you've heard me use it, but was it dismissively in the way in which I use it, sort of like commonplace?
Yeah, I mean, it's clearly a part of your vernacular.
Right,
so
right. Syntax,
I mean,
right. Totally. I'm a New Yorker. It's sort of like using friggin', and I know that isn't to dismiss the concern, but you know what? I'm glad he said something about it. I'm not hurt or offended by the use of it, or by his point of view on it. I'm not taking it as some sort of harsh criticism. He meant it in a genuine way, so I appreciate it.
Yeah, and I just wanted to support his point and explain a little bit about how it might affect some people.
Okay, if I find an alternative, will that work?
You know what? I work with children, so I'm constantly coming up with creative cuss expressions, like stink on a monkey, or poop on a stick. That's one of my favorites.
How about jumping Jehoshaphat?
I use that all the time, and kids think it's hilarious. Kids love that one. Yeah.
Okay.
Or you say something. Well, you say something like, "Well, Buzz Lightyear." And kids they think that's hilarious. It's almost more fun to come up with more creative ways to cuss than it is to.
It's true. It's true, Lori. In this way, was because the reason why I came up with mother, father, or sister, brother. The reason why was to keep me, because when my kids were very young, I knew I had a cursing problem. Again, I'm from New York. So around the children not wanting to use that language around them, I would use those euphemisms for saying curse. And you're right. Their response was always laughing. Funny thing is that they carried that on when they grew up. That, they started saying mother, father instead. That was kind of, and their friends would laugh.
Yeah, and so to that point, when I work with the parents that I work with, I always say to them, like, please remember, your kids are listening to everything you say, and if you don't want them to walk around with potty mouth, then you need to watch your words in front of them.
You're right.
And we model everything for our kids. They absorb everything we do.
That they do.
They don't miss a thing.
Thank you, Lori. I appreciate you. Thank you so much from your point of view. Now let's get into the BPS Traffic Center with that son of a brain surgeon, Mark Christopher, the BPS Traffic Center.
I'm in a New York state of mind.
Reese, thank you. Thank you very much, Reese. Good afternoon, everyone. This traffic report being brought to you by Whittlesey. If you're heading into downtown Hartford right now, westbound 84, tied up 56 Governor Street out to 4.
And that, my friend, is why I just work in the background.
46 Dixon Avenue.
Why?
To the Buckeye Bridge.
I don't have. Yeah, I am who I am. Like, that's just it.
18 and 17 as you move down in toward the Wilbur Cross Parkway in Meriden. Looks real good. 91 northbound, Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. 291, 384. Okay, 2 westbound slowing. Exit 4 to the 84 West merge. Quiet Middletown. Waterbury, 84 westbound, sluggish in Cheshire from the 691 interchange up to exit 22 in Waterbury. 84 eastbound, you've got delays now approaching 16 to 17 on the eastbound side of 84 as you move through Southbury. 84 eastbound, Danbury slowing 3 to 5. Again, 84 eastbound slowing 9 to 11 in Newtown. Southbound Parkway delays 62 down into the West Rock Tunnel. 91 southbound delays from 6 down in toward the 95 interchange, and 95 southbound delays from exit 48 down to 43 in West Haven. Whittlesey wants your business to succeed. Whittlesey is more than an accounting firm. They're advocates for your business, delivering a robust set of solutions, including audit, tax, technology, cybersecurity, and advisory services. Learn more atwadvising.com. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
All right, going to be a chilly night for us and quite breezy as well. Low down to 35. The northwest wind's already up to 10 to 20 miles an hour tonight. Windy throughout the weekend with the combination of the gusty winds, low humidity, and copious dry brush. There will be a high fire threat. For Saturday, mostly sunny, windy. The high of 61 will feel like it's in the 50s throughout the day, but that northwest wind at 15 to 25 miles an hour. Sunny to partly cloudy, still breezy on Sunday. Again, the advertised high of 63, going to feel more like it's in the 50s with the north-northwest winds at 10 to 20. Mild Monday, more clouds than sun. Not as breezy, so that high of 63 going to feel closer to that temperature. Breezy on Tuesday, otherwise mostly sunny, the high 59, mostly sunny, a high of 58 on Wednesday. Right now, Waterbury already down into the 40s at 48. It's 55 in New Haven, 52 in Mansfield, and 54 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
If you're experiencing low energy, brain fog, or bloating, then your body might need a detox. Active Liver from New Nordic makes it easy to detox your body all year long without major changes to your diet or lifestyle. Active Liver is available in stores at CVS or online at Amazon.
ProHealth Physicians has proudly been keeping Connecticut healthy for nearly 25 years. ProHealth accepts Husky Medicaid, Medicare, TRICARE, and most major insurances. For trusted local care for your whole family, call 1-855-CT-MD-411 or visit ProHealthMD.com.
Join us this Sunday for Tumulo Financial, your go-to for retirement planning and taxes. Tune in to the father and son duo from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. or catch the replay from 5 to 6 p.m. Tumulo Financial Retirement Planning with Integrity on WTIC News Talk 1080.
There's a price war in the insurance business, and you may be paying too much. Call the Term Lifeline right now and see if you can save 40%. $500,000 plans and up, that's our specialty. Even great smokers rates. Protect your family today. Call the Term Lifeline right now for a free quote. 866-549-TERM, 866-549-TERM, 866-549-TERM.
This Thanksgiving at Total Wine & More, find bourbons and Cabernets that you adore. Our helpful guides are so friendly and nice, so many bottles to try at the lowest price. So gather with friends as you sit down to eat. Grateful for all who made Thanksgiving complete.
With curbside pickup and delivery available and the lowest prices for over 30 years, you'll always find what you love and love what you find. Only at Total Wine & More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a time... 1 minute. Service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit. 800-329-20.
Here we go.
800-329-2121. 800-329-2121.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is. You know who it is. It's Reese on the Radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
All right, I'm going to miss you guys this weekend. I might as well get it out now. This week went a little longer than usual. It felt long. but it's already Friday. On this airing of Grievance Friday. Not a lot of grievances today. What, you guys all cured now? What, we don't, there's no need for the airing of grievances? We don't have a lot of grievances anymore? Jumping Jehoshaphat. I'm trying it out. I'm trying. Let's get to the phones. Mike is in Plainfield. How we doing, Mike?
I'll tell you what, I've noticed that the weather has been incredible ever since and before the election, and that is symbolic of better days coming.
Oh,
Give the man, there's going to be some changes.
Yeah.
Good changes. And I really think Pennsylvania, I was thinking the other night, what swayed them? And I think Butler was the determining factor. A lot of people weren't sure after Butler, and I think Butler may have turned some heads and changed some minds.
I think it was a lot, Mike. I mean, like, hear me out. If there's one thing about the American psyche today, is there is this lure or this investment in conspiracy, right? And we all want to believe that little conspiracy that we share. Like in that one little conspiracy that's out there. Is this true? Is that true? Is this what they're doing? Is that what they're doing? And that curiosity in it sort of makes us draw ourselves to that. And I think about all of the things that happened to Donald Trump in the last 2 years. From everything to lawfare started to pique the curiosity of people who were saying, like Donald Trump saying, it's lawfare, it's lawfare, it's lawfare. All of a sudden, after a while, people start going, well, what if it is? And you get curious. It's not so much that you believe it, but you get curious. Then they kept saying, yeah, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, you
go ahead. I don't want to say
No, I was going to say, then there were other things like, which I found very interesting, threats to democracy. What did we find out in the exit polls? Many people voted on the threat to democracy. But those people who thought the threat to democracy was important in this election overwhelmingly voted for Donald Trump. So it's that conspiracy that draws people. And they start seeing all these odd things going on with one candidate. And they're going, well, it can't all be false. It can't all be coincidental. Something's got to be afoot. I think all of that played a role. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I would have paid a few bucks to see George Clooney on election night. Okay, with hanging his head and sobbing. You know what? You look like the guy that was talking trash before I dumped 38 points on you.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It was, I would love to, what's funny, because I would love to hear any of these people. A lot of them are conspicuously missing right now and out of the public eye.
They're missing.
Yeah.
Another thing I'd like to see is Whoopi Goldberg trying to fit both feet in her mouth.
Well, she can't stop doing that, especially with this Staten Island bakery, which we're probably I'm going to get into that a little bit over the weekend on the weekend show. Let me get some people in here, Mike. I love you, buddy. Talk to you soon. Let's go to sorry, I need to go to Bob. Bob is in Meriden. How we doing, Bob?
Hey, how's it going? This is a combination. It's the errands of grievances, and it's a comment to the comment.
Was it Nick? The comment for Nick?
Yeah, from Nick.
Yeah.
So, me personally, I'm trying to not use blasphemy as much as I can. I'm trying to get myself out of that habit, but you can't change somebody else if they're just going to be doing that.
Right.
I had a sister-in-law that dropped the F-bomb every other word, and it just made me look at her and deduct 1,000 IQ points. But,
did you cringe a little when she did it?
No, I just looked at her funny. And the other thing is, if people are going to blaspheme, if they're going to drop the JC and they're dropping the F-bomb as his middle name, I just think that is totally, completely low class.
Okay. Well, that I don't do.
But, yeah, well, I've worked with people that do that.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, dude, why are you doing that? But I'm going to end this with a joke. And I don't consider this blasphemy because it's part of a joke.
Okay.
All right. There was this little boy who was working as an errand boy for a tavern. And the local vicar always ordered lunch from this tavern. And his favorite was a cheese platter with crackers. And the tavern owner says, if you drop this, you're fired. This is for the vicar. So as he's going, he's carrying the tray very carefully, and he slipped and threw the tray up in the air, and it all landed in a puddle. And he looked up in the sky, and he said, "Jesus Christ, God Almighty." And the vicar poked his head out of the window and says, "Hey, what did you just say?" He goes, "Cheese and crackers got all muddy."
That was a good one.
Some of the funniest jokes I've heard came from men of the cloth.
Yeah, good one. That's actually very. You know what? That sounds like something that my priest would say back in the days.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bob. Much appreciated, sir. Let's go to Louise in New Britain. Hello, Louise.
Yeah, hi. On that subject, I think every day that I listen to you at the end, towards the end, and your closing little remarks, or
remember to keep JC in your hearts and in your minds.
Plan your work and work your plan, and you say I didn't notice it for a while. After you saying, make JC part of your day or something like that.
Yes.
And it took me by surprise. I said, well, it's kind of a good thing. You're almost evangelizing, but it's a little bit casual.
Yes.
Maybe you could say, may the Lord bless the rest of your day, or God,
Oh, when I say, okay, at the end of my, on my send off, or my
send off,
yeah, my send off at the end of the show, and I say, remember to keep JC in your hearts and in your minds.
There you go.
Yeah, I am not talking about Jesus.
You're not?
No, ma'am.
Well,
okay,
what are you talking about?
I'm talking about a guy by the name of J.C. McGee, James C. McGee. And he was my producer when I first started in my podcast in 2012. And he passed away in 2013. And that's really just the saying for me. Just remember to keep JC in your hearts and in your minds. Meaning
You're kidding.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, why would we know who that was? Or why would that?
Well, you wouldn't know who it was, but I know that people take it as remember to keep Jesus Christ in your hearts and in your minds, because I know people are going to take it that way. So it's beneficial to us both.
Okay, so you are meaning it that way.
Yes, for people who accept it in that way, yes. Yeah.
In your heart and your mind. Well, nothing wrong with that. It's good. It's a prayer, right?
Yes,
I
ma'am.
don't know what else that Nick was talking about casually during your. I've never heard it otherwise. In a disrespectful way, or
no, I get what he was saying. I totally, to be honest with you, him mentioning it, I kept going back. I was like, gosh, when did I say that? But now that I know it, I'll definitely work on it. Why not? I can always improve.
Yeah, but okay. I was thinking that they were criticizing that.
Nah. I don't even think he was criticizing. It was something he thought that I could pay attention to, and I appreciate it.
Okay. But sometimes people people that call in or whatever, you hear a little bit of too much about God's name,
right?
And in a complaining or angry way, and that is wrong.
Yeah, but no, I totally listen. He's a supporter of the show, loves the show, but hey, who is beyond a little critique here and there? I know I'm not, and I love that he brought it up.
Yeah, but as far as using, I went to Catholic school, grammar school, and the nuns, it was French. So anyway, they would say, instead of saying, swearing or whatever, they say, sac à papier. You know what that means?
No.
It means paper bags.
Oh.
You're angry and you hit your bum or whatever, sac à papier. And it sounds like you're
It sounds like a curse.
It does. I never do it. I never use it, but it was funny. But
Thank you, Louise. Much appreciated. Thank you for checking out the show. Let's go to Chris in Berlin. How are we doing, Chris?
Hi, Reese. How are you?
I'm all right.
I have a lot of grievances.
What do you got?
I'll give you a couple. One guy that called in, it's the guy that kind of screams on the phone. But anyway, he said that, Trump got elected and he's the president-elect. And these senators, they need to approve every one of his cabinets.
Okay.
I mean, this isn't a monarchy, They don't owe fealty to him.
Well, Chris, let me say this to you. Remember the power that Donald Trump has at this moment. Donald Trump is in essence saying that, look, the American people have given him a mandate by giving him the House and giving him the Senate and, of course, giving him the presidency. He gives these he gives these cabinet picks and this administration pick. And in essence, his bully pulpit here is to say, what do you think is going to happen to you in those states or from those American people if you do not approve my cabinet? Someone will primary you, or in essence, they will vote you out.
He has no more power over them.
Who says he doesn't?
He's not going to be elected again. He's already elected.
He doesn't. No. I'm talking about the midterms. We still have midterms, don't we? Yeah. So, he's got a considerable amount of power. So, look, let's get my agenda approved. Let's get to cleaning up the United States and all of the waste, fraud, and abuse. Let's get everybody healthy. I'm sorry?
They owe the American people. They owe the American
That's
people.
correct. And what he is saying is Chris, he has a clear mandate because not only did he win the electoral college, he won the popular vote. And it's the greatest victory in 129 years. And clearly he has a mandate. So the Senate, sure it is. It is the greatest victory in 129 years. Chris, if you think it's important for me to make you agree with me, you got the wrong guy. The point is that he has a mandate, and the Senate knows it.
You don't have to agree with me.
But Chris, the Senate knows it. Well, I'm just going on what the facts are. The Senate knows it, and the Senate can rabble rouse in the news media about, sure, it won't be easy. We've got our blah 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 blah. But Donald Trump has a lot. He has a heavy hand to work with here. He does.
They owe the American people to get the best.
That's right. And the American people have spoken, Chris.
They owe us.
Yes, the American people have spoken.
They don't owe the king.
He's not a king. He was the duly elected president of the United States. And guess what? He's got a mandate that says, do it his way. Can you go in there and do it our way? We appreciate you. It's not like they didn't know he was bringing in Tulsi Gabbard and Robert F. Kennedy. It's not like they didn't know that. They know that.
Jeez.
I know you don't. Listen, it's like everybody else. You don't have to like it. We just have to understand that it's fact. That's all.
That's not the fact.
No, it is. Because currently he is the president-elect.
Best person for the job. Not a criminal, not somebody that doesn't know what he's doing.
Chris. With all due respect, the only person here who sounds like that they're a little miffed at the election results is you, but it's okay. Get over it. Let's just wait until day one.
Election results. I'm just saying he's not a king. They don't.
No one said he was. You're the only person. Listen, you can't intimate. You can't suggest that he's not a king, which means that he is acting like one. You're suggesting that he's not a king, which means that he said he was. That's not how that works. You're just saying he's not a king, which means what? He never said he was. No one's suggesting he's a king, except for you.
And the other thing is, that's really bothering me, is there was a house.
Chris, unfortunately, Chris, with all due respect, I do have to go. It is the end of the show, and I apologize. But I'll let you get in on Monday, I promise. As I always say, radio is free, so we thank you for paying attention. Remember to keep JC in your hearts and in your minds. Sean Patrick, we love you and we miss you. Remember, folks, that panic is not planning, so plan your work and work your plan. Me, I'm Reese on the Radio. Don't forget to check out the Sunday show at 6 p.m., and we'll see you back here on Monday. He's Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. Good night, Mark.
Reese, have a great weekend. Thank you. Southbound 91 coming into downtown Hartford right now. A little bit of a delay.
All right, good sir.
Down to 32.
How did that go by so damn fast?
This traffic report is being brought to
I
you
feel
by
like I just here yesterday was Monday.
A employee-owned company.
All right, I will
Now,
get
if you're
those.
traveling
I'll get that list to you by Monday.
No problems.
I'll just send it to you.
All
right.
All right, sounds good.
All right, thanks, man.
Enjoy your weekend.
You too.
91 southbound 19.
All right, folks. Holla, holla, pop your collar. Don't forget. Yeah, I sure did. Sure did piss her off. You guys be good. We will check you out on Monday. And don't forget to check out the Sunday show. And you can always get the Sunday show simultaneously at reasonthenradio.com. That's reasonthenradio.com. That's that website right there. Okay? All right. Love you guys. Please be good. And I want to see you all back here.